Hello, everyone. And today we are going to discuss the full report of Timmy Dees. This is public information. His mother had used the Sunshine Law request to get this information. It's time that facts come out, and here are the facts. Let's get started. January 11th, Timmy gets threatened by Lacey, Morgan's boyfriend. Timmy had sold Xanax to her, and she was pregnant. Lacey said the Xanax was found for her friend's roommate. All of this is allegedly, by the way. Everything stated here is allegedly and not in fact. We do not know that at any point any of this is true. Okay, let me continue. January 11th, Timmy gets threatened by Lacey, Morgan's boyfriend. Timmy had sold Xanax to her, and she was pregnant. Lacey said the Xanax was for her friend's roommate. January 23rd, Timmy Dees and Matt Radcliffe, TD, and brother. Oh, and bro, long, horrible story, but this shit gonna make me end up dead or in prison. MR. Let's go up to see who is who. The orange is Jimmy. The black is Barb and combination of Barb and Jimmy. Green is needs clarification. Red will be contact information. Blue is is Detective Andrew Moore report. Purple is the Missouri State Highway Patrol. The black with gray highlights are messenger messages, meaning probably Facebook Messenger messages. Sorry, I should have said that in the beginning. Number 2 is January 23rd, Timmy Dees and Matt Ratcliffe. And bro, long horrible story, but this shit gonna make me end up dead or in prison. MR. Fuck happened? Did some shit you ain't supposed to be doing? Ain't got to be ashamed, man. Obviously, and obviously, don't incriminate yourself on here. But it's some drug or some depression, whatever. I can understand. Timmy. Yeah, I can't talk on here. January 31st. Timmy and Martin Williams. TD. Where I'm in MH, which is Marble Hill. MW. Sneebs in the hill. Where at? And please tell me you got the pressure. Timmy, I always got the pressure, but I always need the pressure. MW, I can't get it, bro. Whatever you want, whatever you trying to grab. TD shares emotion image of Ice Cube. Let me know. Just got into town. Now these are messages. We don't know that any of this is true, but these are supposed to be messages. Timmy and Justin Watson. Justin Watson. How much you getting your green for, him? Timmy, bro, I'm about to go to rehab Thursday. Can't help for real. Oh, well, that's good though. Timmy, yeah, you know, Jason, you excited? Timmy, nervous. Don't be. Yeah, well, can't go till Thursday, I mean. Timmy and Jeremy stop at S. Xanax. Not days, and I'm out of February 1st. Timmy to Natalie after he goes to Fredericktown. Well, I ended up getting a hotel in Cape. That's what's up. I need some bud before I lose my shit. Yeah, I feel all I got is Zans. February 2nd. Timmy to Martin Williams. I got bread. Martin Williams. How much you got? What are you trying to do with it? Timmy, as much as you need. It's all on credit card though. I can't do anything unless it's cash app or money. Timmy, yeah, well, I got gas. I'll fill it up. MW, it will be here in a few. I'm eating, then going to shower. Timmy, I'm in Cape. MW, well, why didn't you go to Caleb's house? Timmy, he won't answer now. He's been coming for 2 hours. 2:53 a.m. MW falls back asleep and leaves Timmy hanging. Timmy to Natalie. You talk to Caleb? Natalie. Matt leaves for work at 5:30. Y'all can come out. Caleb know how to get here. Timmy. Well, I got some shit and he's not answering me. And if it's going to be me and Martin, that's cool. Natalie. Yeah. Matt lost his job and he just came back to the house. February 3rd. Timmy to Natalie. I'm at Caleb's. Timmy sends message, then unsends it. February 4th. Timmy to Martin Williams. Bro, just let me know you can come here. It's just me. Let me know. I'll be here drinking. Caleb said, we can kick it here. I just want to note there is nothing indicating that Timmy has any kind of drug or any kind of alcohol addiction. Timmy to NL. Bro, that was the longest, shittiest mission ever. Just got back, but just nice to see you. Hit you up another time, sorry. February 6th through the 7th. Now text to Jimmy expressing wanting to get help in teen challenge. Need to get copies of text. February 6th, Martin Williams to Timmy Dees. You going to rehab? Timmy, detox the halfway house. Martin, effing detox? Timmy, yep. February 12th through the 13th. Liska Robert tells Timmy she needs DMT. TD says, I'll let you know when I get that, though. Should be 2 weeks. LR, my people need a good amount of Deems. Timmy, hit me up what you need. Or how many do you need? Sorry, this is kind of like an initial like form here. Man, I won't pay more than 12, honestly. Well, I'll tell them that it's taxed for sure. L, need that O. MFers can bust on it though. Timmy, I mean, that's what he told me, and I told him I would only pay 12 and hit me up again. LR, get it for 12 and I'll throw you 100. I'm in Florida right now. I'm in Florida. My right hand guy would be grabbing it. February 14th. 3 missed calls from Liska Robert. I need that Oz effer. February 15th. Timmy Dees to Lisa. Sorry, bro, just been in my head bad lately. Lisa, all good. Chris told me. I'm in Florida. If you can find DMT, I'll make you money, dude. Just not paying over 1200. Timmy, Chris, and yeah, he taxing, so it's really not worth it. February 21st. Messages to Rizzy Riz, RR. You ever find anybody to swoop? Timmy, no, man. Damn light, bro. Well, don't F up your job. It ain't worth it. At least fill you another one. F that MFers talking about. Yeah, for sure. Like I'm so effing hard. Bro, I'm so ready to die. I feel I just got to push through into the pimping life. It's so hard to get better. I keep thinking it can't get worse. And this is what keeps getting worse. Bro, for real. I've been dealing with the same shit, dog. I've been struggling. But it ain't worth your life, trust me. It always gets better eventually. Might be bad for a while, but you do it right and it pays off. It's been so hard to do the right thing, and I'm this sad. You got me, bro. I'm not gonna say the word, but you got me, bro. I ain't gonna let you die, bro. I'll beat your ass if you try anything. Hmm. You'll be right. Little bro, it's been hard to even finish this bottle. I'm so sad, but yeah, bro, hope you're doing all right. To Rebecca Kale. Man, Becky, I miss my brother so damn much. I know the feeling, man. It's hard, but you have to look into it a better way. I'm here for you always. I love you. To Nick, my transition just went out. Week week to 2 weeks prior to February 25th. Please pay attention. Now we get some serious details. That was just messages. We don't even know if those messages were actually by Timmy in any of this. We're not sure. Timmy was seeing a counselor struggling with his brother Michael's death. Timmy knows he needs help. He applies to go into the Teen Challenge drug treatment. Now, Tim, which is Timmy's father, talked with Barb. We all know Barb is mom. Barb takes Timmy to Walmart to buy supplies such as toiletries and a razor. Now, they assume the paperwork's done. When they arrive at TC people say the paperwork has not been done and Timmy cannot be admitted. Timmy's dad meets Timmy and Kate to get a hotel room and straighten things out. Now, that night, Kayla comes and gets Timmy from the hotel and they go out and they party. That evening, Timmy and his dad get into it and Timmy leaves with Caleb. Caleb and Timmy go to Winter Kelly's place. Natalie Long's where they party. Caleb runs into Timmy at the hotel. Next morning, Barb drives to Cape Hotel, waits for Tim to get there. Barb hugs, kisses Timmy when she leaves. Now, Caleb agrees to take Timmy back to St. Louis for $100. Timmy calls Jimmy and says he thought he's made Caleb mad because Winter seems to have affection toward Timmy. Now, Jimmy, let me come and get you, and I'll take you to your mom's the next day. Well, snow, ice that night. Jimmy drives to Park Hills, Old Bon Terre. Timmy had ditched Caleb and stuff. He snuck around to the gas station waiting for Jimmy. On the way back, Caleb calls Timmy. Timmy says he's good for $100 for the ride. Timmy stays with Jimmy 3 nights. Timmy confides to Caleb made him paranoid, saying that his conversations with Caleb were turning oddly sexual. Now, Caleb mentioned he'd, do some sexual activity there orally for a less amount. Mm. So Timmy jumps out of the van and hides from Caleb. He's like, I'm out of here. Timmy expresses regret, bolting on Caleb and running off to the gas station. Jimmy returns to Barb's house. Now, Timmy spends weeks mourning and grieving Michael, expressing guilt for not doing more to help his brother and being around him more, as any of us do as we grieve. Timmy tells Barb he had a dream where he saw Michael, held him, and didn't want to let him go. February 22nd, Timmy goes to church Tuesday night with Barb. Timmy raises his hand, tears run down his face, and the invitation for salvation. Wonderful. Timmy and Kevin Higgins exchange messages. Timmy sends a screenshot of a message from Lexi saying, apparently Kevin Higgins is saying, God flow effed you or something. Timmy, so what the hell is this about? KH. Sarah's posting about dude that are a bunch of girls. Hmm. Timmy says, so what'd you say? And bro, nobody got me. KH. Well, that guy got your rear end, and that's not what you told me. I'm not talking bad about you, but that guy outside stealing ass left and right. But my bad. I didn't mean to go tell someone about your business. Timmy, I don't know why you would just throw that shit out there and some shit like that happen. KH. Buddy, I'm sorry. And I'm saying buddy instead of this word because I will not use it. I'm not storytelling. I didn't tell her all your business and how you came to my house after you got a kit done at the hospital because you thought your friends are you. And I said I didn't mean to go throw your bullshit out there. Timmy leaves Barb's house in Fenton. Now he leaves with a friend from work. This is the last time Barb sees Timmy. Again, February 25th. And it's got a question mark because all of this, we still have questions. Timmy exchanges messages with Ray Clapper. Timmy says he's stuck at his mom's, asks for a ride. Clapper asks for gas money. Timmy Dees calls Lacey Morgan, whose boyfriend had threatened him before. She misses the call. February 26th, 3:55 a.m. Clapper says he's on his way to get Timmy. 4:59 a.m. Timmy calls Clapper. He doesn't answer. Cell phone data shows Timmy in the area of South Grand Arsenal Street in St. Louis, Missouri at 4:05 a.m. when he calls Caleb. 6:52 a.m. Timmy to Clapper. You good? You okay? You okay? Sorry, I passed out. 7:43. Clapper sends pics of keys to Timmy and asks if he should put them in the mailbox. Receipt shows Timmy gives Caleb $20. This is noted in Monroe's report. Caleb picks up Timmy in St. Louis and they go to Fredericktown. February 26th and 27th. Barb asks to Timmy. Barb talks to Timmy on the phone. Sorry, guys. Normal conversation, just checking in. He checked with her. 3:11 to 3:17. A messenger exchange with Stephen Shaggy Schneider using again Benjamin Todd. Please listen to it for me, bro. Right on. Love you so much, man. Love you too, kid. More than you know. I'm just not me anymore. But you got to listen to that. Made me think of you and how we feel. I will rise, Benjamin Todd. Also that. 3:30 a.m. Message to Rizzy Riz. How you had a good birthday? 5:02. Timmy calls Tanner Martin. Martin doesn't answer. 5:03 a.m. Timmy tries to video chat with Tanner Martin. He doesn't answer. 6:33 a.m. Tanner missed messenger call from Tanner. What? 6:33 a.m. Tanner missed messenger call from Tanner. Later, Tanner responds. I think they mean Timmy. And Timmy was missing and that he was sorry. I was sleeping and you needed me? Timmy sends messenger to Taylor Sky. Another wine, one of both. I think this is just typos. Another one of both. At 2:58 p.m., Clapper responding to Timmy about keys. No, I'm not home for a minute. Keep them safe. 5:58 p.m., Caleb and Timmy are observed traveling westbound on Main Street, making a left turn into Seabarn. Both Timmy and Caleb entered the gas station. Timmy was wearing a green and gray Packers hoodie, blue jeans, and tennis shoes. Timmy observed sitting at two different gaming machines. I'm sorry, this is all messed up here. Timmy observed sitting at two different gaming machines and purchasing 2 packs of cigarettes. While they're at Seabarn, 3 white women arrive. One immediately approaches Caleb, who is standing near his vehicle at the gas pump. The other 2 girls enter the gas station, speak to Timmy, who is seated at a gaming machine. Timmy exited the gas station and appeared to swipe the card at the pump. Okay, I do want to stop right here because if you remember right, Bobby Boone in the past videos has stated that she doesn't know, she wasn't with him that night. But on video, She is on video outside at that gas pump. Just remember that as we go through. Barb, can you hear me now? I think Barb's having a little bit of trouble.
Yes,
Oh,
I can hear you. Can you hear
okay.
me? I'm on mute.
Oh, okay. All right. I know last time something was going on. Is there anything you want to add on before I keep playing?
Well, the incident of Timmy going to the in the beginning that you're talking about, him going to Teen Challenge.
Yes.
What happened that day was when I took Timmy there to Teen Challenge, the paperwork wasn't that done. And Timmy was outside the car begging them to let him in. I was in the car talking to Timmy's dad, and he said that when we told him the paperwork wasn't done. So we went to my girlfriend's house, stayed the night there, and then the next morning, Timmy and I met up with his dad in Cape, and he got a hotel. Well, the reason why Timmy and his dad got into it was because Timmy's dad, had brought Michael's ashes with him. And when I got home, I left Timmy, gave Timmy a hug and everything. And I came home. I called Timmy and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm at the cemetery." And I said, "What are you doing at the cemetery?" He said, "Well, we're burying Michael." And I said, "You're burying Michael? Why? I thought we were going to do that together." Well, Timmy started crying because his dad had told him that that it was okay with me. And then Timmy got upset, started crying, and I did not, I just wanted to let it go. I told Timmy, "Don't worry about it. It's okay. We'll go see Michael another day." And that's when Timmy and his dad got into it. And that's when Timmy called Caleb and had Caleb pick him up.
Okay.
I just wanted to make that part clear
Yeah.
of why
Sure.
all that happened.
Yeah, and I'm going to leave us up here so that you can stop me. And Mr. Steve is in chat. Welcome, Mr. Steve. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Would
Steve,
I'm going
and
to go
everybody
ahead.
for being here.
Yes, yeah, we all your support is so greatly appreciated. It really is. Barb could
Yes.
use all the support that she can. Steve, I'm going to go ahead and leave this link just in case at some point that you want to come up. Don't feel obligated, but just in case, because I mean, you know a lot of these answers. So here's the link, guys, but this is only for Mr. Steve. Okay,
And
Barb,
I will mute and let you go ahead and
okay, I'll mute also, but you're up here though, so you unmute anytime and I'll stop playing, okay?
okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And pump fuel. 6:33 p.m. Timmy buys $12.10 worth of stuff from that gas station. A fountain soda, Sonoma Red short cigarettes, Newport cigarettes. Caleb and Timmy leaving Caleb's van driving eastbound on Main Street. 6:40 p.m. Drive off receipt report from Seabarn. 6:40 p.m. 2102 in gas. Dodge van, and I'm not going to get the plate, written down as license plate of the van. Let me go ahead and cover that. At 5:43, 7:35, missed messenger calls from Jeremy Harms. Jeremy Harms. Why? Who wants us to head your way? 11:07. Timmy Dees. By Kate with my boy. 11:56. So you're not coming here then, Timmy? Nah, not tonight. February 28th. Timmy does not call Barb. Okay, guys, listen up. This is where it gets bad. 12:22 a.m. Caleb and Timmy observed traveling westbound on Main Street in the black Dodge van and turn into Seabarn parking lot. They park near the front of the store next to the air pumps. Timmy makes an ATM inquiry. Now then he withdraws $160 and purchases Gatorade. 12:48 a.m. Timmy buys a Gatorade at Seabarn for $3.18 with cash. 12:51 a.m. Caleb and Timmy observed leaving and traveling westbound on Main Street. Now, between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., Trevor Holland's phone pings on 72 between Fredericktown and Patton. 1:30 a.m. at Seabarn. Report from Monroe. Photos of Seabarn with Caleb, Trevor, Bobby Boone, Ellen Lawler. Checked his account. On receipt. Checked balance retrieved. $160 from ATM based on receipt.
And
Relevance.
Monroe is the
Last image of
detective
Timmy.
that
After
in
Seabarn.
Monroe's the detective that got the missing report when I made the missing persons report. Monroe's the first detective.
And he did an excellent job, didn't
Yes,
he?
he is. He's the one that
Yes.
lives where I live, where I made the missing persons report before I found out that Timmy was down in Fredericktown.
Yeah. Yeah. Just reading through his report, I was like, wow, he's a good detective. He's not afraid to get dirty and, do the work. So I think he
Right.
did an excellent job. I think
There's a
Officer
lot of things I wouldn't know if it wasn't for his report, to be
right. And he is
honest.
detective, correct? Like he's Detective Monroe, or is he
Yes,
just
he's
okay?
Detective
Right.
Monroe.
Okay. Joshua Pinkley told Missouri State Highway Patrol that Caleb said after the C-barn, they went to a woman's house to get Caleb's hair braided. Now, Pinkley didn't know the name of the hair braider. 2 a.m. time Caleb gives that Timmy left. So Caleb's saying 2 o'clock, Timmy left. 3 o'clock. The time Mike Busking gives as to when Timmy got to go get some fresh air. Relevance. Caleb gives 2 a.m. as the time he left. Mike Busking says it was an hour later. Yet, Trevor Holland says that Timmy was with Caleb and Busking when he was changing a tire just before the cops came. Three people, three different accounts of what happened. Hmm.
And you know what's
The truth should
interesting
only
there
be one
too,
thing. With
Doodle?
Ray Highland.
What's interesting there too, I don't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry, but if you look at the pictures at
No, no, that's
1:30,
what we're here for.
if
Go
you
ahead.
look at the pictures at 1:30 in the morning at the C barn, Caleb's got his hair braided already.
Oh, really? I didn't. I
Yes.
see. I didn't catch that. So his hair is already braided.
Yes, his
Huh.
hair's braided in the pictures at the C barn at 1:30.
Wow. Hmm. That's good to know, Barb. Okay.
Okay.
Lights are messenger messages. Me, St. Louis, and they go to Fredericktown. February 26th and
Sorry, guys. It
27th.
kind of started
Barb
a little
asks
over.
to Timmy. Barb talks to Timmy on the phone. Sorry, guys. Normal conversation, just checking in. He checked in every day with her. At February 26th, Timmy texts Jimmy. What are you doing, Jimmy? Might need your help soon. Jimmy, just let me know what I can do. 311 to 317. A messenger exchange with Stephen Shaggy Schneider using again Benjamin Todd. Please listen to it for me, bro. Right on. Love you so much, man. Love you too, kid. More than you know. I'm just not me anymore. But you got to listen to that. Made me think of you and how we feel. I will rise, Benjamin Todd. Also that. 3:30 a.m. Message to Rizzy Riz. How you had a good birthday? 5:02. Timmy calls Tanner Martin. Martin doesn't answer. 5:03 a.m. Timmy tries to video chat with Tanner Martin. He doesn't answer. 6:33 a.m. Tanner missed messenger call from Tanner. What? 6:33 a.m. Tanner missed messenger call from Tanner. Later, Tanner responds. I think they mean Timmy. And Timmy was missing and that he was sorry. I was sleeping and you needed me? Timmy sends messenger to Taylor Sky. Another wine, one of both. I think this is just typos. Another one of both. At 2:58 p.m., Clapper responding to Timmy about keys. No, I'm not home for a minute. Keep them safe. 5:58 p.m., Caleb and Timmy are observed traveling westbound on Main Street, making a left turn into Seabarn. Both Timmy and Caleb entered the gas station. Timmy was wearing a green and gray Packers hoodie, blue jeans, and tennis shoes. Timmy observed sitting at two different gaming machines. I'm sorry, this is all messed up here. Timmy observed sitting at two different gaming machines and purchasing 2 packs of cigarettes. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to fast forward a little bit more because when I hit play there, it went and it started over a little bit. I think this is where we're at. Correct me, guys, if this wasn't though. You doing okay? Call me. March 2nd, Kathy Blade of Gateway Motor gets messages about getting stuff out of the repossessed van. March 3rd. Now, Jimmy informs Barb that Timmy is in Fredericktown. According to a text from January 26th, Barb calls Fredericktown Police Department. They tell Barb, an officer call her back. No one told her to call her. Iron County still has not fulfilled this Sunshine Law request. Again, Iron County still has not fulfilled the Sunshine Law request. CaseNet does not. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to take this down for a second and I'm going to play the call from Iron County. Now, mind you, she's went through a lot with these people, but this is a call that's made.
I'm just now looking into this case with your wanting information on the Sunshine Law request. I looked in our system. I do not have anything in our system that relates to anything to the investigation under the disappearance of Timothy Dees. However, I think we may have had a brief phone call conversation in the past about obtaining some phone call records from jail cells from between the inmates and family and friends out there. I did have a talk with an attorney, our county attorney, and those records are not public records, so I cannot release those. If you have any questions, you can call us back here at the sheriff's office. It's the area code 573.
Okay, Barb. I'm going
I
to,
still don't have those records. I still
okay,
don't have
all
them.
right. Okay, I was waiting. I was waiting because I knew that you would definitely want to say whether or not you received them. She still has not received those jail calls that were public records that now are not public.
No,
So
I got the recordings of Caleb talking to his sister, Caleb talking to
yes, but
Amber,
not you
but
talking to
not
Caleb.
me. No, they told
Right.
me that their lawyer told them they didn't have to give them to me.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
Right.
let's go ahead and play it then. That, this is terrible, guys. Please like, share this out. I mean, this is not for me. I'm not monetized. I just want to try to help Barb in any way that I can. We've got to get this story out. We have to keep it out. We have to keep it noisy. We can't let this go silent. All right, guys, I'll mute and go ahead. Charges related to this date. Why? Caleb speaks on the phone with Amber. Caleb expresses anger toward Timmy regarding not paying for the gas. It's because of Timmy. When I see Timmy, I'm beating the shit out of him. It's another word, but I'm going to use a smaller one. Beating the F out of that MFer. I swear to God. That right there. I don't know if I can. I'm just going to say bro, it. Long, horrible story, but this shit going to make me. I'm just going to say it. In my eyes, that could be a motive.
Well, and I'm going to say that the interesting part is we have evidence that the last thing that he said to Timmy, and he never once reached out to Timmy to see if Timmy was okay, but he talked to Timmy 400 times in the month of February.
But after the threat and then him saying this, it to me that could be a motive.
He threatened him twice. He's threatened him even on Timmy's phone that we have the records from now because of the foundation.
Yeah, and him saying that he had saw Timmy, taking pictures of his items. You know that if you thought someone was actually taking pictures to sell your stuff, that could cause an altercation. And then you threaten him.
And the only way he would have known that whether he either caught Timmy doing it if saying Timmy did that, or he had Timmy's phone and looked at his Snapchat. So who has the phone?
Yep. Either way, that it could, if there was a confrontation, that could explain some of it. But this is wild. This is Marv. I'm so sorry. This is so bad. This is so horrible. You have to go through. It's awful.
It sucks, but okay, I'm ready.
Me end up dead or in prison. Mr. Fuck happened? Did some shit you ain't supposed to be doing? Ain't got to be ashamed, man. Obviously, and obviously don't incriminate. Jimmy informs Barb that Timmy is in Fredericktown. According to his text from January 26th, Barb calls Fredericktown Police Department. They tell Barb, have an officer call her back. No one calls Barb back. Barb finds out that Caleb is in jail in Iron County. So Barb goes and puts money on his books and tells the jailer to call her. Iron County still has not fulfilled the Sunshine Law request. Again, Iron County still has not fulfilled the Sunshine Law request. CaseNet does not list any charges related to this date. Why? Caleb speaks on the phone with Amber. Caleb expresses anger toward Timmy regarding not paying for the gas. It's because of Timmy. When I see Timmy, I'm beating the shit out of him. It's another word, but I'm going to use a smaller one. Beating the F out of that MFer. I swear to God. That right there. I don't know if I can. Right there. It's because of Timmy. When I see Timmy, I'm beating the F out of that MFer. I swear to God. Monroe obtained phone call records on March 17th. March 4th. Monroe is contacted by Laura Birmingham. Timmy's probation officer. Birmingham said he was on supervised probation and made aware that Timmy was missing. He did not show up to his probation appointment on 2/28/22. Birmingham noted that his drug of choice was inhaling spray cans known as whippets. A lot of those children do that. It's just a thing they do. I'm not saying it's great, but I've seen a lot of people do that. Guys, this doesn't mean he's bad. We're not going to judge the victim. So this is just a report. Let's move on. So Monroe speaks with Tim, who advises Monroe that Barbara told him that Jimmy received a text from Timmy to pick him up at 115 Village Creek in Fredericktown over the past weekend. Tim stated that he spoke with Timmy on 2/27/22 at 4:30. Timmy mentions his probation appointment the next day. Tim stated that Timmy had an unemployment debit card. Tim stated he called the unemployment office, who told him Timmy last used his card on 3/1/2022. How? Okay, let's continue. Totaling $576 and indicated there were no gas station transactions. Now, Monroe talks to Barb, who confirms Timmy had contacted Jimmy via text. Barb states that she last spoke with Tim on 2/27/2022, the dad, not Timmy, at 6 p.m., and he told her that he was in St. Louis. Barb stated that Timmy did not show up to his last probation appointment, and due to using drugs over the weekend, he did not show up to the appointment the previous month either. Now, Barb states Timothy takes monthly shots for his opiate addiction. Monroe writes it was completely out of character for Timmy to not call her for several days and not return her phone calls. Barbara states Timothy's phone appeared to be off. Barb knew. She felt it. March 4th or 5th, Barb's nephew, Nick, goes to Fredericktown, and he talks to Trevor Hall and Bobby Boone. He says they gave Winter Kelly a ride. Amber and Winter Kelly were cleaning up the area in the house when Wheeler was there. What y'all cleaning up? Sorry, next. Relevance. Picked up Winter and Kate. Okay. And they had brought her to where Caleb was at. Amber Green was cleaning up the place. Wheeler witnessed them cleaning up needles. Monroe contacts Deputy Michaela Luke in Iron County, who advised her that Caleb was in their jail on a warrant through the Iron County, but was originally arrested by Fredericktown Police Department on February 28th. As you can see, that's highlighted there. Let's continue. Monroe contacts Fredericktown officers Austin Smith, who advised Caleb was arrested for a gas drive-off. Investigation at Seabarn. Smith states that the drive-off occurred on 2/27. Officer Smith advised he responded out to Caleb's grandmother's address, where he contacted Caleb regarding the drive-off. Caleb had an active warrant out of Iron County. Caleb's grandmother paid for the gas and reported, and the report was made. No report was made. So you can run off. Anyway, never mind. So Caleb speaks on the phone with Barb, who tells Caleb that she's reporting Timmy missing. Caleb states he does not know where Timmy would be. He states he was last at the house in Fredericktown. Caleb states Timmy dipped out. He stated that he was acting like an idiot. Barb states to Timmy has not been in a good place since his brother died, and states his phone and his phone has been dead this whole time. There's a problem. Caleb states that Timmy acted like he paid for the gas and that was the reason he got arrested. Monroe obtained phone records on March 17th. So already we see that Caleb blames Timmy for not paying for the gas and causing him to be arrested for that. Just throwing that out there. Unknown dates between March 3rd and March 7th. Barb talks to Caleb several times in a phone conversation. Relevance. Now, the relevance to this is the first phone call. Caleb says he's angry with Timmy. Timmy didn't pay for the gas. Barb asks, "Where's Timmy?" He says, "I don't know." Caleb says he went to take a pee and never came back. "I'll do anything I can. Don't know where he is." Second phone call. Caleb calls Barb. Barb says, "What's going on? Where's Timmy?" She knows police were called there. So why were the police there? Barb didn't know about the 911 call. Why did police go there? One, relevance. Change story. No longer went to take a pee. No record of neighborhood calling police or 911. March 7th. Barb takes a phone call from Caleb. He says he had talked to a detective. March 7th. Caleb sends the video. Says he'll do anything just to find him. He says he hopes Barb doesn't think that he would have anything to do with this. Barb tells Detective Monroe about the video. One of Caleb's stories, Timmy got a hold of an ID, was facing jail. March 6th, Caleb speaks with Amber. Amber states that Nick messaged her asking if she had seen Timmy. Now, Nick is the cousin. Nick, of course, is worried about it. He's worried about Timmy. Caleb states to him, ask Dalton, DJ, and Becky Chapman who might know. Amber states Nicholas was worried that Timmy was, deceased. Caleb states, oh my God, I hope not. Caleb states the last message he got from Timmy was, people are following me, and it was him running. Phone records obtained from Monroe's phone on March 7th. Here's the relevance to this. Now, Caleb admits he went out in the car to look for Timmy. Now, Mike Busking says he was with Caleb during the drive, but Caleb said Busking was asleep and never even met Timmy. It is quite possible and likely that Caleb and Busking were indeed chasing Timmy, and Timmy did not want to be caught by them. Caleb speaks with Amber and Nicholas Wheeler. Caleb states Timmy was running out behind his house the last time he saw him. Nick states he knew that Timmy was getting high and he was worried that he would overdose on Xanax and died. Listen, before I continue with this, nothing in here is factual. These are just statements by several that know information that most of them shouldn't even know if they weren't there. Monroe makes contact with Laurel, the manager of Seabarn, who was familiar with the drive-off. Monroe reviewed surveillance. Monroe goes to 115 Village, that's Mike Busking's, and attempts contact but receives no response. Monroe goes to Express Mart gas station, Golf, at 1005 Walton Drive, makes contact with an employee and said they didn't know Timmy, but they stated they knew Caleb. Caleb must be frequent there, and he was in jail, and said, I just want to say, I have said in the beginning that Caleb is very familiar with this night shift gas station worker, and that's always stuck in my mind. The reason for that is because he makes the statement in one of his interviews with an officer that, well, I don't know, it had to be day shift. Well, if you didn't pay for gas at night, why did it take day shift to call on them unless he knew the person working that night? Just my opinion, all alleged, but that's always stuck out to me. He's too familiar with the people that work at the gas station, in my opinion. That his girlfriend is Amber Green. Lots of information there. As for surveillance video, but the owner wasn't there. Monroe goes to Iron County Jail and talks to Caleb. This is an audio recorded. Oh, here we go. Caleb states he was hanging out with Timmy that weekend. He picked up Timmy on 226 around midnight. He drove Timmy down to the Village Creek Road. Timmy was supposed to stay until 3-1. Caleb was living in a shed, tiny home behind a barn. Caleb states Timmy went outside to use the bathroom. Caleb states he hears Timmy screaming and he tried to call Timmy. You're inside, Caleb, and you don't go outside. You decide to call your friend who's screaming in the yard. Anyway, who answered and sounded as if he was running? Caleb states Timmy was screaming that people were chasing him. And Caleb states he told Timmy no one's chasing him and to come back. But he never came back. And Caleb estimates the phone call was 4 or 5 minutes. That's going to stand out because that's detailed. Caleb states he spoke with Timmy's cousin on the phone about the possibility of Timmy climbing in a crypt at the cemetery next to the residence. There is a pretty cool graveyard there, but obviously that's been proven wrong. Caleb states that Timmy had been friends since they were kids and becomes emotional when talking about the possibility of something bad happening to Timmy. Caleb states that he and Timmy had been friends since they were kids and become emotional when talking about the possibility that something could have happened to Timmy. Caleb states he picked up Timmy from a residence in St. Louis City. Caleb states he and Timmy went to Seabarn gas station to get gas, and he tells Timmy to make sure to pay for gas. But Timmy didn't. Caleb states police show up at his residence at 2:28 regarding him not paying for gas, but Caleb also states he was arrested for a warrant out of Iron County. What? Caleb states he picked up Timmy from a residence in St. Louis City, but Caleb also states he and Timmy go to the Seabarn gas station to get gas, and he tells Timmy to make sure he paid for gas, and it was his local gas station. Caleb states police show up at his residence on 2/28 regarding him not paying for gas. Caleb states he was arrested for his warrant out of Iron County. Okay. Caleb indicates his phone will have information about when and where he picked Timmy up. An Iron County deputy retrieved Caleb's phone and from his property. Caleb consented to Monroe looking through his phone in his presence. Caleb shows Monroe a text from Timmy at 2:25 p.m. where he sent 1611 Broadway, which is probably an address where he needed picked up. Confused on the date of the text because he states that he picked Timmy up around midnight on 2/26 Saturday. Now, Caleb states that they returned to Fredericktown. Caleb states it's most likely people would not answer the door for police. Caleb states that he's in the process of turning his shed into a tiny home. Caleb reviews satellite images of his residence and points out the location of the shed and cemetery. Caleb states that they were doing drugs with Xanax. Caleb states Timmy appeared
Hey,
paranoid, but about people.
before it gets too far, when he's talking about, can you hear me? Doodle?
I can hear
Hello?
you.
Okay.
Is that better
When
now?
it's
Okay.
talking about Caleb making the phone call in the 4 minutes and all that, that's on record. The problem with that is, and this is just my theory, the problem with that is who answered Timmy's phone, because on this other site that he was talking to Caleb on, Caleb never reaches out on that platform to see if Timmy's okay, and he's been talking on that platform 400 times in a month, and then all of a sudden you never get on that platform again, and you try to get a hold of Timmy on your phone. And who answered that phone? I'm wondering who answered that phone, because Timmy's phone was never found.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it would show that somebody answered that phone maybe for that 4 minutes, but
But
I
who?
don't know who would have.
Right.
Whoever has the phone, because the phone's not down the creek.
Right. Right. Okay.
All right. I'm
Also, guys,
sorry.
I don't no, no, don't be sorry. That's why we're doing this, so that you can feel heard and you can tell your story. But I also want to bring up the point that just because, like, all of these statements, these are just the group of people that are involved around this. So please don't take their word as fact, because this is just an officer, like, investigating and interrogating each person. So just because they said he had all of this on him doesn't technically at all mean that he did. I think they had a story planned together. But, when you get all those substances involved, things get a little confused because the truth never changes. Yet, when we get to Mike Busking's and Caleb's, a lot changes. So much changes. But
And
in each
in
each
that
interview,
ID,
yeah, and each interview it's got a few bits of truth in each lie, but they're still so confused.
right? Well, and I want to
Steve
talk
says,
about that. I want to talk about that or that ID that was found. That Caleb
yeah,
told them that the ID. Well, that ID he tells in another. Uh, it's a video that I have of him talking to his sister. I have that video, and in that video, he's telling his sister that, remember that ID? Remember that ID? Like they had that ID before. He found it. He found it. He is saying that to his sister in a video in Iron County Jail. I have the video.
so Marion wants to know, does Winter have the phone, you think?
I'm wondering if Caleb had the phone and answered the phone at the same time, just to
And
have
Mr.
record on his phone that he made a phone call to his phone.
Right. And Mr. Steve says tonight is your night, and he will do a different date follow up and answer questions. So I think that's amazing too. So if there's any more that's
Thank
brought
you,
up, he
Mr.
can answer them
Steve.
all.
I don't see the comments right now. I'm sorry, but thank you,
Well,
Mr.
it's
Steve.
on the screen. It's on the screen, Barb. Just look on the screen.
I'm just
It's
seeing
okay.
myself.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll take it down. All right. I'll play it then. You're doing good, Barb. You're doing good. If you need me to stop, just tell me. We can take a
Well, I
break.
just wanted to bring up those both about
Sure.
the ID and this other stuff about these phone calls while I was thinking of it before we got further, and I forgot what I was going
Yeah.
to say because it's hard to remember everything. So I don't mean to cut you off. I just don't
No,
know.
I want
I
you
don't want
to.
to
I
forget.
I want you to cut me off because this is about Timmy, and this is you have, no, cut me off if you need to. I'm just here to tell, to let you tell the whole story and just bring facts. So this is just awareness. If you need to stop me, just say, "Hey, stop." No big deal.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Harming him. Well, this, like I said, allegedly, we don't know that any of this is factual, but this is the timeline report put out, and you guys need to hear facts. Here are the facts. Caleb estimates they went the first time around 11 p.m. to midnight on 227, and that's when Timmy failed to pay for the gas. See, Caleb is stuck on this gas thing now. He's holding this grudge. This is like the fourth time that Caleb has brought up that he did not pay for that gas. Caleb states he comes to the house in the gas station originally They were supposed to just go to a friend's house, but it fell through. When they returned to the residence, Caleb states he ran out of my house, or well, he didn't run out of the house, but he said he had to go to the bathroom at like 2 a.m. And when he was like running around screaming and shit around my yard at 4 or 5 a.m., that I was like, dude, you can't be doing this at my grandma's house. Like we live next to old people and, they're going to call the police. Relevance. The receipt regarding the gas runoff was during a 6 p.m. visit early that evening. Relevance is the 911 report shows the call was made from Timmy's phone, not the neighbor. Caleb clarifies he went to Seabarn between 6 to 9 p.m. on 227. Caleb states they did not get gas. Caleb. Another lie. Caleb states he did not get gas. Caleb states they went again around midnight and got gas. Caleb states Timmy bought cigarettes. Caleb states he took out the money at the gas station, but doesn't know how much. Caleb states it would make a right on West Main to go toward the town square, and went to the residence. Caleb states him and Timmy were playing video games at the house. He states he left to go hang out with a girl for a little while, and when he returned, Timmy was still playing video games.
And Doodle.
Caleb states he returned. Timmy appeared more on edge about.
He states in there that he doesn't know how much money he has, but in a video with his sister, he tells his sister Timmy got $160 out of the ATM machine.
Yeah, yep. And that's actually in a report of someone stating to an officer that Timmy had said he had $160 in his that he got.
Yeah, but Caleb's saying, well,
but
I don't
Caleb
know how
shouldn't
much
have known.
money he had. But
yeah,
he's telling his sister how much money Timmy had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now why? Okay. Why so many lies? That's just so crazy.
Right. That's why I don't understand why I didn't get all the audios between Caleb and I. They gave me the other videos, but they never gave me any of the audios of Caleb and I. And every time I talked to him, he changed his story. Every time.
Wow.
Okay.
Something. Caleb states Timmy had bought a sleeve, but didn't drink it. A sleeve is the little shooters that come in 10 or 12. Timmy then states that he had to use the bathroom and he went outside. Caleb states about an hour later he had not come back and he heard screaming. Caleb states his cousin Trevor Holland was there due to getting a flat tire on his way to work. Caleb states Trevor stopped by to get a spare tire. Caleb states before he could change the tire, Trevor got arrested by police and he on a warrant. Caleb states he thought the cops were called to the house because Timmy was screaming. Now, Caleb states later that morning that the cops had showed up and told him he didn't pay for the gas the night before. Caleb states he was arrested and states, see, a lot of this is gas. Caleb's still mad. He's mad that gas was not paid for. This is constantly talked about. I just need to bring that to light. So, Caleb states Trevor had already been arrested and that he spoke with Timmy on the phone. Caleb shows Monroe his phone, which, as you can see, it's all of these missed calls times 3. But we don't know exactly who tried to call here. We have no proof of that. Relevance. Caleb was either confused or lying about when he alleged the drive-off happened about the gas. Statement about Trevor already had been arrested when he talked to Timmy on the phone contradicts other statements. Caleb made 19 calls to Timmy, but none around the time he went pee around 2. If he left it 2 to go, he waited. Yeah, and I want to say, now, what I just read there was that they talked constantly. They did this. They were on Messenger. They were on this app. I mean, they were speaking constantly every day. All of a sudden, when Timmy went missing, it was silence. Why? Why is that, Caleb? Because this is your best friend. When I thought Barb was missing, y'all saw what I did. I mean, I'm ready to go in and kick indoors. So why, Caleb? And if you're listening, Caleb, please tell me why. It could be innocent. Just tell me, because it doesn't make sense to me. I have to say it because a true friend would have flyers on every tree from here to as far as they could go. This is
and ridiculous. You would definitely, if it's not even just your phone, that other app that you talk to Timmy daily on, you never reached out not one time to see where Timmy was. But then you're going to tell me that Timmy's on the run and Timmy's this and Timmy's that, but you didn't reach out one time and say, hey, bro, you okay? Right. Because they called each other bros. You know what I mean? Not one time was that done.
Well, look how many times we call one another and be like, "Hey, are you alive? Yep. You still kicking chicken? Yep. All right. Just
Yeah.
checking by." Terrible.
And this is your best friend, but you
Yeah.
not one time
Right.
reached out to him,
Yep. That you
even
grew
on
up with
apps
your
that
whole
people
life.
didn't know you were talking to him on.
Right. Yeah. See, that alone is suspicious.
Yeah.
Almost
Okay.
3 hours before calling him. Then he makes 19 calls for the next 100 minutes.
And then a
Guys,
few of them were answered on
what?
Timmy's phone, but Timmy's phone's just vanished. It's nowhere.
But we don't know who answered it, right? We have no clue who answered that phone. We just know that somebody did answer.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
Josh, we knew that.
we know somebody read a text message, and we know somebody did a check-in on Facebook there on that phone.
Right. And said Fredericktown, didn't it?
Yes, ma'am. And then
Okay.
went in there and took it back off.
See, and that's
Now all the other places that he checked into were places he worked. They were still there. And then there was a check-in on March the 27th in
wow.
Fredericktown. And then when I brought wind of it to everybody talking on media, on all the social media things, then somebody went in there and took it right off. I can show
Yeah,
you
see,
the
how can they
before
take
and
it off?
after,
How
but they
could they
don't have
take
the
that
phone.
off? Hi, patriotism. I'm happy to see you here. Yeah, Josh, we do. We say, "What's kicking chicken?" or "Are you still kicking chicken?" It's just what we say.
Yeah,
But yeah,
something.
it's crazy. Yeah, because to think that your best friend's missing, I'm gonna put flyers on every street from my house to as far as I can get.
Yeah, but you
And I
got to
just,
go and think about he threatened his best friend too. This is his
yeah,
best friend
yeah,
he's threatening too.
right, yeah, for many reasons, gas, money, whether it be a habit, whether it be all of it, and that alone, I'm telling you, this is crazy. Like, I'll continue.
Yeah.
Caleb went Caleb made 19 calls to Timmy, but none of them the time he went pee around 2. If he left at 2 to go outside and pee, he waited 3 hours before calling him. Then he makes 19 calls in the next 100 minutes. Why? Why you calling now? Caleb shows Monroe text messages. I observed Caleb texting Timmy where he was expressing anger and frustration with Tim regarding him running away. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me shut my door to this dog. I apologize, guys. So sorry. Let's continue. So Caleb shows Monroe text messages. I observed Caleb texting Timmy, asking where he was and expressing anger and frustration with Timmy regarding him running away. Now, Caleb texted asking where Timmy was, and they stated they were supposed to go to work together. Caleb referenced Timmy taking papers, which Caleb states Timmy had found a person's ID. This ID, I'll just go ahead and read this. Sorry. I didn't want to give my opinion in this, and it's hard, but let me start over. Caleb shows Monroe text message. I observed Caleb texting Timmy along where he was and expressing anger and frustration with Timmy regarding him running away. Now, Caleb texts asking where Timmy was and stated they were supposed to go to work together. Caleb referenced Timmy taking papers, which Caleb states Timmy had found a person's ID and other documents outside of Caleb's grandma's house. Caleb states he didn't remember or recognize the person that was in the documents, but Caleb states only one thing. Timmy grabbed him up where the documents were left. Caleb states Timmy came in with the clothes on his back. About 11. Now, see, here's where we got the contradiction. About 11 Xanax and some weed. 11. Caleb states Timmy did not have any other cell phones. Well, dang, Barb, somebody added an extra zero, didn't they?
Yes, ma'am, they did.
And guys, I want you to understand that. We have somebody saying, "Oh, he had 100. He had 100." And this guy's saying he had 11. He had 10 or 11.
Now
That's a
we're
huge
talking,
difference. That's a
yeah, and
huge
we're
difference here.
talking about people that have
That are
addiction problems. None of
yes,
them
yep,
have jobs. The only
right.
person there that has a job is Timmy. And
Most of
he
them are
seems,
middlemen
well, I'm
or
saying,
cooks.
as far as all those people, Timmy's the only person that had a job there, and Timmy's on the run, and he's leaving $1,500 worth of checks at his union hall, is what Caleb's saying.
Yeah, because that makes sense, right? Gosh.
Okay.
States Timmy found the ID on 226, and Timmy stated he was with him for 2 days. Relevance. Worked together. Was this a made up statement or a euphemism for something else? Hmm. Caleb states Timmy left after Trevor arrives. Caleb states, now that I'm looking back, he's like pretty much gathering everything to leave. Cale indicates Timmy put the documents he found in a bag and took them with him. Well, it's kind of pointless to finish this part because they're saying that he tried to steal someone's identity and the identity was a female. Let's continue. March 8th, Monroe contacts Madison County Fredericktown Dispatch. He inquires about any other police response in the area of that Village Creek Road on the 28th. He is advised that the Madison Sheriff's County deputy, nope, plural, responded to the area in reference to a 911 call placed by Timmy Dees at 4:40 a.m. Monroe is advised Timmy called 911 saying he was being threatened by a friend. Deputy Tyler Kennedy of Madison County Sheriff's Office responded and arrested Trevor Holland on a warrant. Monroe later obtains the CAD notes and call log information regarding both police responses to 115 Village Road. How if lightning hit that? I'll move on. The CAD notes confirm the above information that were submitted as care attachments. Relevance. Was plural deputies a mistake? Relevance. No other 911 call reports were submitted in response to a sunshine law request I made for calls that addresses between 227 and all the way to 31. Now, Barb talks to Monroe, and Monroe is getting ready to go on vacation. He doesn't know why he still has the case because Timmy was last seen in Fredericktown. Caleb tells Monroe Timmy went to take a pee, never came back. Monroe just assures Barb that he'll do his job. Monroe talks to Deputy Tyler Kennedy, who says he arrived at the scene at approximately 4:48. He located Trevor. Trevor was the guy that pulled up in the driveway. Timmy obviously had words with or whatever, changing the tire, who had an active warrant for his arrest. Deputy Kennedy stated Trevor initially was yelling and appeared agitated. Why? Timmy was just there going to the bathroom, and now this guy's agitated. Something happened here. Kennedy states Trevor asked him if he's seen another male running north on Village Creek Road wearing a white.
And on that too, Caleb had warrants too. So why did they arrest Trevor, but they didn't arrest Caleb that night?
In my opinion with that, the reason that they didn't arrest Caleb is because when Kennedy pulled up, he thought because of the guy being outside being so agitated that was the threat against Timmy. But I also feel like where he failed is that he never made a follow-up call to make sure that Timmy was okay. Now, because
he knocked on the door. I have video later. I have audio.
But he has to have probable cause to actually get Caleb out of the house. Like, he has to have reason. He can't just go and knock on the door and say, I'm here.
That. I'm not saying that at all. What
I'm I think that's why Caleb didn't go to jail
if you ran the records of Trevor, and there was other people there, why wouldn't you run their records
because they weren't outside?
Well, but he asked them, where was the guy that made the 911? I have the audio of that now. It's not in these records here. But I have the audio of Kennedy telling this girl that I know that he went up to the door, knocked on the door, and asked where the guy was that made the 911 call. And they said he left. That shouldn't have been like that. They should have called Timmy's phone back or something.
Oh, I agree that Officer Kennedy should have made contact with Timmy to make sure he was okay, even though he did think he had the threat in the car. But I was just answering to why Caleb being inside, Kennedy couldn't just go in and drag him out, not even knowing what had happened.
I understand that, but you'd think that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I get
it. If you got two people at one place and both of them got warrants, I thought they took both people to jail.
No, well, he doesn't know that Caleb is inside at that moment. He doesn't even know that Caleb is the threat at that moment. All he knows is that he knocked on the door to see who was running away and which way they went, or if the guy was there that had made the call.
Okay.
But had he known that, if the call would have said Caleb, then he would have been like, are you Caleb? But I don't think that he knew at that moment.
Right, because it said my friend.
Was inside, not outside. Yeah,
that's saying my friend threatened me doesn't mean that they knew that it was Caleb was his friend. Yeah. I get what you're saying. All right.
That's the only thing I can think of with that.
Makes sense.
Hoodie. Kenny states that he had arrested and transported Trevor to jail at approximately 4:57. Deputy Kennedy advised that he would complete a written report that he would fill out his report for the Madison County Sheriff's Office. I later obtained a copy of that police report, which was submitted as a care attachment. Relevance. Was Caleb trying to apply Trevor's antics to Timmy in that interview with Monroe? I think so. Relevance. We have a neighbor who states that Busking also was asking if he saw a blonde kid that was running toward the cemetery. Why Busking? I didn't think Busking even seen him. Barb makes daily calls to county sheriff's departments. Barb blows up the phone. She tries her best. She says, "Don't bother returning a call. You will see me when I'm living in front of your courthouse." That's our Barb. Barb shows up for the first time at our courthouse. No one returns calls for 10 days. 10 days her son's missing out. One person had enough dignity to call her back. One of the police officers gives her the finger. Nice. How professional. First day out there, witnessed by Jimmy. Several days prior to March 12th. Cursory investigation by Timmy's father and Jimmy. Jimmy finds Bobby Boone. Jimmy and Tim go to Bobby Boone's house. Relevance. Talk to Bobby Boone. Obtain copy of text messages of Caleb sent to Diane Holland and Ellen Lawler. Texts were believed are between Caleb and Ellen. Texts were between Caleb and Ellen. Not sure how they got into Bobby's hands. In text, Caleb is mad at Timmy. Caleb says, I want to beat his head in. And I mean, it's right here, guys. I know you can see it. This right here. In text, Caleb is mad at Timmy. Why are you so mad, Caleb? Caleb says, I want to beat his head in. Oh, that's not so nice looking now, is it, Caleb? Jimmy and Tim follow up regarding Bobby Boone's text to get more information. She says she deleted them. Convenient. Jimmy asks Bobby if she knows Timmy. She denies knowing him. Relevance. This is disputed by that surveillance video at that gas station. Fire Chief Billy meets up with Barb, Jimmy at McDonald's. He knows how to conduct searches. During this time, Wheeler was going down to Fredericktown. Timmy's dad talks to Bobby Boone. March 12th. First search is conducted by family and friends. It should have been done by law enforcement. First search was done by family and friends. Police know how to search, but they did not assist this search and conducted around property where Caleb lived. Around that cemetery, just looking, Castile's friends helped search. Relevance. Nothing found. Castile just talks to friends of people with licensed cadaver dogs, licensed through the same damn Missouri State Highway Patrol. Another search planned. Till when? And I was at one of the searches in the bus. So they did put us all on a bus. And Barb did not lie. I was in that bus and they did direct us one way. It said only way to do it with permission slips, addresses, signatures, phone numbers, and dates of people that lived in that area. Oh, my Lord. Caleb speaks with Tim. Caleb says that Timmy took off from his house. He drove around in the van looking for Timmy, driving to the graveyard in the airport. Caleb states when he talked to Timmy, he sounded like he was running and he was out of breath. Someone was chasing him. Caleb states that Trevor and Timmy were at his house. Tim asked if Mike was there, and Caleb states he was passed out. Caleb states Timmy kicked a trash can and found a bag that had a birth certificate and paperwork. That was someone else's. Caleb states Timmy called someone, and he was supposed to be calling someone about Nashville. Now, mind you, Timmy doesn't have a car with him, and he's in Fredericktown at a friend's house, but he's talking to somebody in Nashville. Okay.
Well, Caleb told me, and that's why I'm so interested in them audios, because Caleb told me that Timmy was going to Tennessee, that Timmy was in Florida, that Timmy was in LA. I mean, he told me all these different places that Timmy was on the run at. And those are the audios they will not give me.
And you know, the craziest part about that, Barb, is that in the beginning, he states, oh, well, Timmy has no friends in that area but me. Well, then
Right.
who the hell's he know in Tennessee, Florida? Where? Come on, Caleb. You know what I mean? Like, he contradicts himself constantly.
Yeah, it's really interesting that Caleb works in Tennessee right now.
Isn't that something?
I just thought of that. Okay.
Okay. Whatever. Now, March 13th, Jimmy and others gather permission slips to search properties. Wheeler, Jimmy, Barb. Now they start knocking on doors. Jimmy approaches houses next door to door where Caleb was living. Man tells Jimmy and Barb to be careful. Says those people carry guns. Man calls back to a girl. Said, "Who are you?" "I'm Jimmy, to see if we can do permission to have a search." Man says, "Yeah, they woke me up that morning. Before the cops got here." Man says a person described as a 240 to 250 pound man, hair slicked back, matching Mike Busking. That 100% matches the description of Mike Busking. Just going to throw that out there. Asked the neighbor if he saw a blonde kid. Neighbor tells the man with slick black hair, and the blonde guy ran toward the cemetery. And he had a pocket full of Xanax. How the heck would this neighbor know that he had a pocket full of Xanax? Come on. Next day, neighbor denies saying these things. 117 Village Creek Road found out it's a drug house too. Relevance. The information is why searchers focus in the cemetery area, along with the cadaver dogs. Who who is the guy described? Found out it was Mike Busking. Relevance. Caleb. Others were trying to deny Busking was even there. It was reported that Busking was asleep. Obviously he was not. When neighbor described seeing Busking come out of the house, it just blew that out of the water. Barb and Jimmy witnessed this. March 13th, the newspaper article states at the first date and time the sheriff's office knew that Timmy was missing. March 13th. The newspaper article says this date is the first time the sheriff's office knew that Timmy was missing. March 13th. Wow. March 14th. Monroe contacts Nick, who tells Monroe, Barb contacted a man who lived at Village Creek who told her that between 4 and 5 a.m. on the 23rd, a tall man with slick black hair came to his house and asked, "Did you see a kid run through?" Relevance. Willer's comments to Monroe confirms the gist of what Jimmy said in the interview with Bob. Now, Caleb speaks with Barb. Caleb states in the last call that he got from Timmy, he said that someone was chasing him. Caleb states it was him, Timmy. Trevor and his mom's ex-boyfriend, Mike. Caleb states Mike was passed out sleeping and didn't even see Timmy's face. Caleb states that he and Timmy were supposed to go up to St. Louis to get a job. Caleb states Timmy was trying to sell Caleb's things on Snapchat. I know
That's what I was talking about. How do you
Yep.
know that unless you looked at his Snapchat?
Because Snapchats go away.
Yeah.
So
So the
unless
phone's
if
down the
you,
creek,
he
I
either
guess.
saw him, he either
The
saw him doing
water.
it, taking pictures, or he had the phone.
Right. Or the water got into the phone or a possum. I don't know. You tell me. I just want it to
Yeah,
make sense.
a possum always gets into a phone, right? And those iPhones are waterproof under for so many meters. So,
Yeah.
the hardest part about this is that it almost feels like several people have put together a story and none of them can keep up with what they're told the first time. And it's going in circles and we're begging for help. And we can't be the only ones seeing this. I
Right.
don't understand how this is
Because the
so
truth
difficult to
doesn't
get help.
change. The
Yeah,
truth
right, but
doesn't
there's no
change.
truth. Some of this stuff is just like circles of little truths surrounded by
Yes.
lies.
Little pieces of truth.
Yeah, but it's heartbreaking. Someone just needs to just get to the bottom. Even if an officer could have transparency with you and sit down and explain exactly what he thought happened, little step by step, it would at least give you an idea instead of just ignoring you. And that's the part that's
Since
heartbreaking,
this
is the
has
being
happened.
ignored.
Since this
Yeah,
has
that's
happened, all I've wanted, Doodle, is for somebody to make it make sense to me, and none of it
right.
makes sense.
If they could just sit and talk to you about why it makes sense to them and the detail, maybe it would to you too, but they won't even take a moment. And that's kind of scary because why?
Right.
Now they start knocking on doors. Jimmy approaches houses next door to door where Caleb was living. Man tells Jimmy and Barb to be careful. Says those people carry guns. Man calls back to a girl. Said, "Who are you?" "I'm Jimmy to see if we can do permission to have a search." Man says, "Yeah, they woke me up that morning." Says it was 3. Yet Trevor Holland says Timmy was with Caleb as he was changing a tire at 4:45. Which is it, guys? Which is it? There can only be one truth. Let's move on. We're almost done. Barb calls Monroe to tell him about a man named Tommy who was crying and told her that he had information about Timmy and was in fear for his life. The PI and Timmy's dad go to Monroe and sit down with them, voice recording with the PI from Monroe. PI. Richard states Tim hired him to investigate the disappearance. Richard said he had several sources who have provided information to him. Now, Richard states the sources were all in fear of being killed or harmed if they identified themselves to police. Wow. Richard states that individual only identifies himself as Tom, who allegedly sees Timmy deceased in a trailer camper in Marquand. Listen, guys, I don't take that serious. I know of this. I'm going to move to the next because the thought of Timmy and them making all this up just shows their brain here. Like
Yeah.
right here, it says busking were in the trailer when observed Timmy deceased. I guess I need to read it. Richard
Well,
states
some
Tim
of it
hired
is.
him to investigate the disappearance. Richard says he had several.
Never mind, because I was going to say some of it is
Oh,
important of that because we got Timmy's dad got ripped off that $1,000 over
yeah.
this, and
I got a
I
little
know who the
confused.
guy is.
I got confused on whether that was on the video or if that was on us now. I was like, do I pause it? That's
Me
why
too.
it took that's why it took me a second. I was like, is she talking or is she talking in the video?
Okay,
Okay,
I'm
I'll
sorry.
continue. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Officers, I'm not giving their names. I'm going to go on down here. Newspaper article quotes Fredericktown Police Chief Eric Hovis as having spent all day with Barb and how there isn't much he can do. Paper reports the sheriff's office, all leads have been exhausted. Headline reads, local leads exhausted in search. My heart goes out to the family. McCutcheon said, I wish there was more we could do, and we would worry very much like him we would love for him to be found safe and sound. What? Relevance. McCutcheon had yet to speak to Barb and had ignored Barb's phone calls. No, I'm not going to get started on that. April 5th, Monroe submits
Doodle,
search warrant documents to the prosecuting
Doodle.
attorney's office requesting Timmy.
You
Yep, go
were
ahead.
reading before I interrupted you a while ago. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's okay. No, don't be
You
sorry.
were reading about the guy in busking and the campers.
Okay, let me see. Did I fast forward too much with
Yeah,
that,
I
or did
think
I
you
read?
fast
Okay.
forwarded too much because that skipped
When,
all that, and that
okay,
is
because
kind of.
when I hit play, it ended up starting it over. I think we were at like 44. Let's try.
It was
Stay on
around
here.
the time we're talking about this guy, the
Follow
guy
home.
Tom.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I got this right. States Bobby Boone came into the gas station and told her that her friend Ellen had just given Timmy a ride to either Marble Hill or Millersville.
No,
Is that close or am I too? Is that
no,
further
that's
than
too
that?
far forward too.
Okay. Okay. Maybe it was 45. Let's try this. Relevance. The information is why searchers focus in the cemetery area, along with the cadaver dogs. Who who is the guy described? Found out it was Mike Busking. Relevance. Caleb. Others were trying to deny Busking was even there. It was reported that Busking was asleep. Obviously he was not. When neighbor described seeing Busking come out of the house, it just blew that out of the water. Barb and Jimmy witnessed this. March 13th, the newspaper article states at the first date and time the sheriff's office knew that Timmy was missing. March 13th. The newspaper article says this date is the first time the sheriff's office knew that Timmy was missing. March 13th. Wow. March 14th. Monroe contacts Nick, who tells Monroe, Bart contacted a man who lived at Village Creek. He told her that between 4 and 5 a.m. on the 23rd, a tall man with slick black hair came to his house and asked, Did you see a kid run through? Relevance. Willer's comments to Monroe confirms the gist of what Jimmy said in the interview with Bob. Now, Caleb speaks with Barb. Caleb states in the last call that he got from Timmy, he said that someone was chasing him. Caleb states it was him, Timmy. Trevor and his mom's ex-boyfriend, Mike. Caleb states Mike was passed out sleeping and didn't even see Timmy's face. Caleb states that he and Timmy were supposed to go up to St. Louis to get a job. Caleb states Timmy was trying to sell Caleb's things on Snapchat. Wow. This. He states that Timmy was trying to sell things on Snapchat. Caleb stated the last day that he was with Timmy, he was acting different and was on his phone a lot. Caleb states he thought Timmy paid for gas. We're back with the gas. Now he's saying that Timmy's taking pictures of his stuff. This right here could be motive. In my opinion, this paragraph right here could very well be motive. It's all alleged, just my opinion. March 15th. Search is conducted with cadaver dogs. Dogs sit on the storage units 5 and 6. This is already rented by Fredericktown officer Jordan Myers. Now, Kenny owns units. Jimmy is involved in the search. Jimmy's in touch with Castile as Jimmy drives to the scene. Castile tells Jimmy dogs got a hit. Castile tells Jimmy cops treated him like crap. Cops had told him his dogs were not certified. 3 times Castile has taken those dogs away from that area, and they keep going right back. Jimmy talks with Castile en route to Fredericktown. Castile says they probably won't have problems with number 5. But number 6, the one the officer owns, ugh, off, owner says go around to unit 13 on the other side. Go through the roof, access 5 through there. Jimmy crawls up there, but the vent space is not big enough to get through. Jimmy drives back around to the front, backs into the front of the sign, parallel with Village Creek Road. Jimmy gets back on the phone with the owner, window below. Shows up. McCutcheon, Katie McCutcheon, sheriff at the time, and renter of the unit come through. There were they all 3 get out. Jimmy gets out. Window tells Jimmy to get back in your car. Jimmy waits in the front of unit 1. McCutcheon, sheriff, walks over there, puts key in and appears that it won't open. Window goes to the truck. Gets can of WD-40, sprays it, opens the door, and a TV and shelf nearly fall down. Appears to be peaceful. Nothing is packed full. Nothing. No cobwebs. Nothing. Now, they are in front. I'm sorry. Let me shut this down. I'm sorry. Okay, so they all 3 get out. Jimmy gets out. They're all right here in front of these storage units. They are in front, preventing Jimmy from going toward Unit 6. At this point, Katie McCutcheon is in Jimmy's grill. Like, she's right there in front. She informs him that the dogs probably hit on a mouse. Cadaver dogs do not hit on a mouse, Katie. So they blocked 6. Can I see 6? Wendell says. We already searched that one. Jimmy focuses himself. Okay. I can't stay silent with this. I was going to, but I can't. 1, who is Katie to stand up in front of 6? And why is it so important that 6 not be searched, but 5 can? Because 6 is owned by an officer, one of her deputies, or because it gives the name, but I'm not going to give the name. But the idea of it is here, why are they protecting 6 to the point where they're backing their vehicle there? There's a problem here. If the cadaver dogs hit on 6, there's something in 6 or something that touched 6. I'm not saying that it was Timmy. I don't know that. I wasn't there. But I'm also going to say that I wasn't there and I don't know. It could have been. Had Timmy maybe walked around that day and been in that area? Maybe. But these were cadaver dogs? That's serious to me. That's a red flag. Sorry, Barb. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I mean, wow.
It's okay.
Focus forces himself through both of them. He sticks his nose up near the doors. Units are metal. They're nice buildings. They're surrounding. And Jimmy can tell he needs to leave. As he's leaving, another officer pulls in. He's short, stocky, black-haired. Now they close Unit 5. Jimmy gets back on the phone with the owner of the storage, who tells Jimmy to wait until they leave and ram the door. Now the owner's telling Jimmy, hey, if you think the cadaver dog hit in there, ram the door. Just get in there if you think your kid's in there. Well, didn't work out that way. He tells Jimmy to wait until, ram the door if nothing else. Jimmy sits there 15 minutes waiting for the police to leave. They don't. So Jimmy drives over to the pig. The cops come back and they're still there. They have that police truck in front of it, the officer's storage unit. Jimmy believes they may have been protecting that storage unit. Relevance. The cell phone data also pinged on storage. No reports of any search at storage buildings. Much of Jimmy's statements about the dog returning multiple times are confirmed below. Monroe contacts Dalton and asks him about the comment about the guy who had slick back black hair. Dalton states he has no idea what Monroe's talking about. Dalton said no one ever came to his home. Another lie. No one ever come to his home to talk about Timmy. A few days after he was reported missing, he said one man who he believed was Timmy's dad came by. Other than that, he never saw Mike. Relevance. Dalton describes and confirms that he was contacted as Jimmy describes. So Jimmy is telling the truth and this confirms it. Monroe reclassifies Timmy's missing person entry now from a walkaway to a physical safety endangered. And there's this new number. Relevance. Monroe seems convinced Timmy did not walk away. I agree with you, Monroe. Bill Castillo contacts Monroe. States that a cadaver dog search was conducted by Assistant Chief Ron Braden of Zalma Fire and Rescue and a canine. Now, Monroe contacts Braden, who confirms he had a certified cadaver dog that worked for Zalma Fire and Rescue. Ron states he was asked to search Village Creek to include the cemetery located in the area. Braden confirms the dog led back to a storage locker facility and it hit in those units. Well, Monroe contacts Simmons, who advises he would cooperate with the police investigation. He advises lockers 5 and 6 are currently rented and locked with the padlock. Ken advises locker 13 is the same building, not rented out and unlocked. Ken advises all the locks are open to each near the top of the wall's roof area of each locker. Why are they protecting 6? Let's find out. Relevance. This confirms Jimmy's description of the lockers nearly word for word. Monroe contacts Sheriff Katie McCutcheon and asks for assistance in obtaining permission to get in them doors. McCutcheon agrees to assist. She also sends a copy of Police Missouri Madison County Sheriff's Officer report. Monroe makes contact with Deputy Wendell, who advises deputies we're going to go to inspect the storage lockers. The lockers were rented by Shirley Finch and Officer Jordan Myers. Mm-mm-mm. Monroe calls Barb, who advises Monroe that she spoke with Caleb on the phone, and he admitted that Michael Busking was at that residence when Timmy went missing. Barb states that Caleb kept insisting that Michael was sleeping and did not see his face. What a liar, Mike. Shame on you. Relevance. If what the neighbors said to Jimmy is true, this cannot also be true. The guy describes as busking. He asked the neighbor if he saw the blonde kid with the pocket full of Xanax. I mean, March 17th, Barb shows up to Fredericktown to sit on boards of flyers advertising for Timmy's disappearance. She does this every day, and I don't think I have to read this. I think you all know how much Barb goes through here. Now, this part is important, though. Now, I looked at the video. Timmy was alive and well at 1:30. I want to know about these storage units. Can you take a ride with me? At that time, Barb Trust Officer, which is now Chief of Police, Eric Hovis. Hovis asks Barb to get in the vehicle with him as they drive to the unit. He shows Barb a piece of paper. Now, I went to school with Eric, and he's always been such a wonderful guy. But this guy, I don't guess I know him. So he nobody has notified me to say that 911 was down. Let me start over. I looked at the video, Timmy was alive at 1:30. I want to know about these storage units. Can you take a ride with me at that time? Barb trusts Eric Hovis. Hovis asks Barb to get into the vehicle and they drive to the unit. He shows Barb a piece of paper. He says, I don't understand how they knew to go to this address if 911 was down. I'm supposed to be notified if it's down. And he is. Nobody has notified me to say that 911 was down. That's all Hovis speaking. Shows a piece of paper, 71,000 or 72,000 for recordings to be recorded. Now, Barb brings up Bobby Boone's name. Things change. I know Bobby has been in trouble and she's an honest person, and at least she's been honest with me about storage units. As they pull back to the police station, Hovis asks Barb to call the sheriff's office and ask Katie to call up and put her on speaker. So, to me, this kind of proves that Eric Hovis, chief of police, he kind of like, wait a minute, how did they know to go? Call Katie and ask her how they knew how to get there. Barb got
And
the
when I
runaround.
did that,
I'll have someone call you back. Famously.
and something, and when I did that, it doesn't say that in this document, but when I did that, I put it on speakerphone. I called down at the sheriff's office, and they did answer the phone the second time, and they said to me, I said, well, I just want to know, and Eric Hovis was sitting in the driver's seat, and there was 2 deputies in the back seat, and I said, I just want to know how you knew to go to that address, and they said because they arrested somebody there the night before. That's why it's so important to me to want to get those the body cam, because he let me know I was on body cam. So when I've
Exactly.
done
And
the
honestly,
sunshine law for that body cam, they're saying lightning struck it.
so you're telling me there was only one arrest the night before, and that arrest just happened to be at the same home that Timmy ran
That's
from?
exactly what they told me. And I even made a comment to him. I said, so you're telling me that if I called you right now, you're going to go to where you if I needed help, you're going to go to the place that you arrested somebody the night before? I said, is that how that works?
Barb Mustang has a question. She would like for you to answer who Bobby Boone is.
Bobby Boone is a girl that's involved in all these cases, and she was at the gas station, and she's outside talking to Caleb, pumping gas while Timmy is inside the gas station. And then there's more. Well, I didn't get the video, I only got pictures, and then there's pictures of her talking to Timmy inside the gas station, even though in her statement she's saying she never knew him.
Yeah, and she's in every one of these cases. That name is just everywhere. Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll play it now. Lines of any officer. I'll have someone call you back. Monroe contacts C-Bar manager Laurel to inquire about getting a clear copy of Timmy's receipt, which appeared faded due to the printer going out. While on the phone, Laurel states Bobby Boone came into the gas station and told her that her friend Ellen had just given Timmy a ride to either Marble Hill or Millersville, but that Timothy jumped out of the vehicle at some point. Laurel states that he was only information that she could remember, but stated both Bobby and Ellen were at the gas station. Did they stop to see if he was okay? Relevance. Bobby has told others she didn't even know Timmy. Relevance. Tommy Bobby's name has come up in Durante Martin's case also. Monroe identifies Bobby and Ellen in the surveillance video from 227. The same surveillance video where Timmy was there also, but Bobby doesn't know him. Who was at that gas pump then? Monroe discovers Ellen's last known address. I'm not going to give that. Let's go down here. I'm not going to give these names because I don't want to get trouble. Kayla spoke with the sister, Diana, who told them to look for Timmy in the crypts in the graveyard. Now, Caleb appears frantic. Why are you so frantic, Caleb? Caleb speaks with Amber and says he spoke with his sister about his friend who is missing and might be dead. Why, Caleb? Why would you assume your friend's dead? Caleb tells Amber he just got done talking with a private investigator about Timmy. Amber states she was told by her friend Robert that, they overheard a detective in the gas station questioning about Caleb at the gas station. Caleb speaks with Amber and his mother, who were at his tiny home, the cook shack. Allegedly, all my opinion, all my fault. Caleb's mother states she knew Caleb was hanging out with Michael, and she wasn't happy about it. Caleb's mom states Timmy's dad had been, asking a lot of questions. Caleb states he thought Timmy went back to St. Louis. March 23rd, Caleb gets back in his van. Caleb Nanny gives Shelley Hayes permission to allow Amber Green the ability to pay off the van from Gateway and take possession. Amber Green pays off the loan, totaling $5,100. I have questions on how that kind of money can be when you have small babies, your old man is in jail. I don't even know if she has a job, but she must have a good one to have $5,000 just laying around to go get that van. Or
I can tell you about that money.
Van. Please do, because I know that girl does not have $5,000 sitting around her drawer.
It was during COVID, and she got that money for her kids.
Oh, the unemployment
she got 10 grand, okay. And she spent 5 of it for the vehicle, and she spent 5 of it getting Caleb a lawyer. That's a sad situation, but that's what she did.
She should have got $5,000 to pay the van off and $5,000 just to get herself all dolled up and find a real man.
And the $5,000 she paid for that van, I wouldn't pay $5,000 for it.
There's something in that van she had to have. I'm sorry, just my opinion, allegedly.
Well, wait till you read the rest of it. It kind of makes you think that even more. Okay.
And picked up, just my opinion, allegedly, all my opinion. Richard provides photos, which the vehicle is in disarray and filled with miscellaneous items. Kathy told him a baseball bat was located in the van, which may have been missing some carpet. So we're missing a baseball bat and some carpet. What happened in there, Amber? Anyway, notes from Kelly Blade from Gateway Motors. Katie D. Taylor will be there on Friday. Kathy has requested phone records from Spectrum and hope to have them tomorrow. Hayes' phone call with Caleb is recorded. Caleb states, I'm guessing someone has had to get in there. I had that van cleaned. It was tossed to hell. I guess it was. Caleb? I took pictures of it. I vacuumed that van right before I got arrested on probation weekend. I would too, from illegal activity from the days or weeks before. I probably would. Kay finished up cleaning up. I was pissed when I was picking it up. I was so scared to see those pictures of how bad it was because I know for a fact I cleaned that van out. Why are you so concerned about the van? Your best friend is missing.
There's something else that concerns me about that van. There's a lot of stuff. Karsten.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The pictures of the van from when it got repoed. That's not, if he cleaned that van, I'd like to know who the person that repoed it must have had mud on him because that van's full of mud.
Not to mention, they had children, and there's more of adult stuff in that van than there is children. And I have my grandson. Every vehicle I have has more of his stuff. It's his vehicle. I'm just the one behind the wheel. I can't imagine they hardly had anything in that van. They did have some seeds, some kid stuff, but not what I would expect.
Well, and I did, you become a screenshot machine when you go through this stuff too, unfortunately. Yeah. And that's when I learned my lesson to never miss anything, because after Amber picked the van up, She put a post out in Fredericktown asking for somebody to detail the van. She needed the van detailed. And I missed that screenshot. But I'm telling you,
Ugh.
it was there. She put a post out
Oh, I
asking
believe you.
who does
And
detail work in
I'm
that
not gonna
town.
lie, Barb. I do feel bad for Amber because I feel like she loves Caleb, and I don't think you know how we all at a young age have made a mistake in a relationship, but I think that she loves him so much, but I think she's going to get done. She's going to be done with this crap. I think she's finally getting where she's just like worrying about her and her children. And
I
Amber,
hope so.
if you're listening, your children and you are worth it. Do it for your children. Just be happy. And you can't be happy with a man like that. You can't.
Yeah. They never change.
Curios and all sorts of stuff. We boxed up everything. Why are you not concerned about Timmy? Where's the flyers, Caleb? Where's all the flyers you put all through town like we did? Hmm. March 25th, huh? Elvis talks to Barb again. Says it's not his jurisdiction, can't help. March 27th, Timmy's Facebook account has a check in on Facebook. Law enforcement says someone else could have done this. Someone could have suggested friends be tagged in certain places. Okay, but Timmy's phone is nowhere to be found at this time. This right here? Sorry, not buying this. I get that someone else may have access to his phone, but I'm not buying that. Law enforcement says that, someone else could have done it and tagged that he was there. No, you would, if it would tag that you're with someone there, but that check in, Timmy was here, was a lone check in. So that's a lie. In my opinion, only. Relevance. Soon after it was addressed publicly, it was removed. Why? If it's innocent, why would you remove it? I mean, right? Maybe somebody else did it. See, that's my point. That makes no sense. April 1st through the 3rd, Barb sits at courthouse. Callie Hill sends message to Barb. Hey, Barb, it's Callie, Kelly's daughter. I told you the other day I'd let you know about Trevor Holland, that kid. Well, I'm not even kidding, hon. I woke up to a Facebook message request from him because I blocked him. I blocked him on Snap and text. So I played into this little game, and I could hit him up to see what he knows. Like I could be looking for drugs, and I got all the proof. Text shows Trevor saying, he got a few of those. Need two or three? Get a hold of me here. 573, da 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 da. Don't want to give that. Okay, so Callie, which ones? Subs? Callie. Okay. Oh no, man. I'm off them totally.
And you know
Oh,
what's
right on. What else
interesting
you
to
got?
me?
Straight up? I've been straight and narrow.
What's
Go ahead.
interesting to me there is that he said subs. Well, if you look at the threat,
That's Suboxone. That's Suboxone's what that
well,
is.
whatever it is, it's
Yeah.
just interesting to me that he says that. And then if you look at the text messages between Caleb and Bobby Boone when they're talking about beating Timmy up and stuff, at the end of that message, it says Caleb saying, "Man, if I can you get me 10 subs or I'm going to jail."
Yeah, because they abuse those. They're
But I'm
actually
just saying,
supposed
they're
to help
saying if I
addiction.
don't get these
Yeah,
10
then he's
subs,
going
I'm
to
going to
jail.
jail right before
Yeah,
he
that's
gets
odd.
arrested.
Did he mean 10 subs or 10
He
bucks?
said
Because
subs.
well, subs is a like it's a little slang term for Suboxone, and a lot of addicts that go out and get these to detox, they end up abusing them, and then that becomes even worse.
Well, I just thought that was interesting that
Yeah, that is
I
interesting.
just got caught that as you said it.
Yeah,
That
but who
he's
has
saying subs,
subs?
and that's what Caleb is saying in that text message.
But who had subs? Because they didn't say anything about Timmy
I
having
don't
that.
know who had subs. What it's saying in
Hmm.
that threat to
Because he
Timmy
needs
and
them. Yeah.
Bobby Boone and Caleb are talking about subs, and
Then I
he
think he sold them. What he
he
done is
needs a
he had
certain
sold
amount of
his.
subs. He
Okay,
needs a
I know what
certain
this
amount
is.
of subs, or he's going to jail. Is what the
Yep, I
text
know what
message
this is.
says.
This is he probably has a doctor visit or a PO visit, and he has to go pee, and they're going to test to see what's in the system. And I guarantee you, the doctor had prescribed him Suboxone so he could recover from whatever addiction he had. Well, he either abused them because they abuse them and get high, or they end up selling them to their friends for them to abuse. So what it is he knew if he goes to the doctor and he pees and he doesn't have that in his system, yeah, he's in trouble. His PO officer will know, and he'll go to jail.
No, when he's saying that to Bobby Boone in the text message.
Yeah.
When he's saying that he's saying that he has to have them 10 or he's going to jail. Right before he's talking to Bobby Boone,
Yeah.
he's doing that right before he gets arrested. But in if you go to the documents and see when Caleb says he got arrested at 8:30, 9 o'clock, but that text has been sent out at 10:06 and he was arrested at 10 something. I have a picture of him getting the handcuffs on him.
Then it's someone else, but maybe Bobby Boone had the subs, and he was thinking she'd front him 10. I mean, you can't when
That's what Caleb's asking for. He's
yeah,
asking
yeah.
for him.
Yeah, of course. And that's what I'm saying. Like you with these criminals, you got to kind of get in their head, and it's hard because they're sideways. Like they don't even know what they're saying, but they do know whenever they're going to go to jail because they got a P test coming up and
It's
they're
just
pretty good at it.
interesting that they're both saying subs. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Well, what I think is that Bobby either has them and sells them or he had them and sold them and Bobby knows who to buy them from. That's what it looks like.
Well, right there, Trevor's trying to give some to
Right.
Kelly, correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So it's a whole big thing. Yeah, it's a thing. I hate to bring it up because I'm fighting for justice for Timmy Dees. I've been threatened by some folks you run with. Oh, I got to be safe, man. My life and my kids are on the line. My family's birthday. I'm sorry, man. I've been off of it 5 months. No subs, nothing. Good for them. Whoever that is, good for them. Message to Barb. Barb, I devised a plan. I'm going to figure out what Trevor Holland's side of the story is. It's not adding up with what he said is happening. I'm going to send it by phone. So I said, Trevor, I'm afraid for my mom's safety and Timmy's because of the shit I've been threatened for. He said, who threatened you? I, pretending I got a text from a fake number saying to mind my business, so I'm fishing for info. Text from Trevor, Caleb isn't my cousin. He is living at my aunt's property. And no, I was there that night. I pulled up there with a flat tire, ran back to see if he would help me, and Timmy was there. Timmy said he had to pee, never came back. I went to my car. Cop pulled up. As I was walking to my car, the cop came running from the side of the house, jumped over the fence, and took off running down the road toward Peepus Bridge. Oh, never heard of that. I guess that's where all the boys go to pee. I went to jail for not going to court for bullshit. No plates, a ticket. What did you do? What did you do to piss this person off? Relevance. Caleb gives 2 a.m. as the time Timmy left. Busking says it was 3. Yet Trevor Holland says Timmy was with Caleb as he was changing a tire at 4:45. Which is it, guys? Which is it? There can only be one truth. Let's move on. We're almost done. See, that part really bothers me. That made no sense. That made no sense. I could totally see them making a closer time, but from 2 o'clock to 4:40 something, that is huge in a case like this.
And then earlier when you're reading, it said something about 2 o'clock and that Caleb was going to get his hair braided. But at 1:40 in the morning, he's at the gas station on pictures and camera with the braids already in his hair.
Yeah, see, well, he seems like a guy that would get them done like every other day to impress the girls because he has to have girls. Obviously,
but the timeline is what I'm saying. Their timeline when they're saying this is all going on, and then they put in that Caleb left to go get braids in his hair. Well, at the timeline they're talking about, Caleb's already got braids in his hair.
Yeah, and none of this makes, like I said, this is like a group, whoever was there that night, they obviously had a lot going on, feeling good, whatever they had going on that night. After the fact, I think they all got together, come up with a plan, but nobody can stay sober long enough to stick with the plan. Just my opinion. I'm sorry. I hate to feel this way, and I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I apologize.
And that's where it comes into where it should be investigated. That's all I'm asking for. Investigate it, make it make sense to me.
Yeah, it's almost like each one is giving Mustang's right. The timeline's all messed up on purpose, in her opinion. And that does kind of make sense because if there's 15 of us and we all give a similar but not the same, then we've confused the police and they have no proof of an actual timeline.
Yeah, but they can talk to Caleb and
I agree. I'm not saying they shouldn't, and I really do hope that they at least sit you down. That that's a lot. Like even in here, you'll hear me say that. I wish they could just sit you down. Not even if they won't have a resolution, but maybe they could explain why they feel the way they feel, and maybe you could understand a little bit more. Not that it's going to help because we know that it's not, but still, if they could just treat you as a human being, I think it would help how you feel. Am
Well,
I
even
wrong?
after Timmy was found, they just closed the case and never
Well,
talked to another person again.
see, that's
That, that's not right to me.
no, it's not. I'm so sorry, Barb. I am. I'll go ahead and play this. So I don't want you to have to relive this any longer. Let's just get this done.
Okay.
Barb calls Monroe to tell him about a man named Tommy who was crying and told her that he had information about Timmy and was in fear for his life. The PI and Timmy's dad go to Monroe and sit down with them, voice recording with the PI from Monroe. PI. Richard states Tim hired him to investigate the disappearance. Richard said he had several sources who have provided information to him. Now, Richard states the sources were all in fear of being killed or harmed if they identified themselves to police. Wow. Richard states that individual only identifies himself as Tom, who allegedly sees Timmy deceased in a trailer camper in Marquand. Listen, guys, I don't take that. I'm going to stop right there, Barbara. I'm going to let you take over. The camper.
Right now?
Yeah, I mean, just when you want, as we
Oh,
go
okay. I
through,
didn't know if you were going to read that first and then I was going to
it's up to
explain
you.
some of it.
I don't know. I'll go ahead and play it, and you tell me to stop, but I'll sit and wait because I know it's coming. Serious. I know
Okay.
of this. I'm going to move to the next because the thought of Timmy and them making all this up just shows
Right. Now, some of that
their
don't need
their
to be
brain.
told, but it's important
Like right
because
here,
that
it
guy
says,
tells us what he says. And we
yeah,
went to a church, and I think that that's parts in that part. If you scroll down a little bit, so you don't have to get
yeah,
into all the gory details of what the guy said, but it tells who he
yeah,
is, and I
yeah. It
know
does.
his name and everything now.
Yeah, that's creepy enough. That's very scary
And they
alone.
won't do. They wouldn't do anything
No,
about that or get the $1,000 back.
see, that's oh my goodness. Okay, I'll go ahead and finish. Busking were in the trailer when observed Timmy deceased. I guess I need to read it. Richard states Tim hired him to investigate the disappearance. Richard says he had several sources who had provided him the information to him. Richard states the sources were all in fear of being killed or harmed if they identified themselves to police. Richard states the individual only identifies himself as Tom, who allegedly sees Timmy deceased in a trailer camper in Marquand. Marquand is a county or a city up 60s or south of Fredericktown. Anyway, so Richard states Tom told him Timmy's JW and head were caved in from being hit by a bat. Remember, Amber says the bat is in the van's gone and carpet. Richard states Tom observed Timmy's hand hanging off the bed. Richard states Tom said that Trevor Holland and Michael Busking were in the trailer when he observed Timmy deceased. Don't believe that. Matheson finds out Caleb's fan was repossessed Van on March 1st by Amber Green, who was authorized by Caleb. Relevance. Timmy's skull was not caved in when found. Tom was lying about that part. Tom, why? With all lies is a little truth, though. So let's stay on the path. Monroe receives a Fredericktown Police Report 22-152 completed by P.O. Zachary Boyer, which states Tommy Vogler, Jr., who says he needs to clear his soul and provided information regarding Timmy's case. Relevance. Fredericktown PD did not provide this document in the response in the Sunshine request. Why? The lightning hit it? Richard provides screenshot of text message from Callie Hill, who had a text conversation with Trevor Holland. Callie was messaging with Trevor, who says that he went to Caleb's house due to a flat tire. Timmy went out to pee, never returned. Trevor states he went to his car. Cops showed up, arrested. We all know this part. But the Missouri State Highway Patrol takes over the case now. Now, Monroe states, I reviewed this investigation with Lieutenant Moore, who contacted Sergeant Scott of the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Relevance. PI and Tim begged Monroe to hand the case to the Missouri State Highway Patrol because they have no more resources and there has been no cooperation from Katie. That's sad. Monroe calls Tommy Vogler Jr. He says he believes that his vehicle was used in the disappearance of Timmy. Tommy states that he fled out of his vehicle on or about 228. Me met up with a friend, Michael Hamill, in Farmington, and they drove to a residence in Leadwood. Tommy states they met a male, Josh Sunshine. I'm not sure. That's Josh's girlfriend, Crystal Noel, who states lived at the residence. Tommy states Josh was a tattoo artist and agreed to give them all a free tattoo, and Tommy left Michael and Crystal borrow his vehicle. What vehicle? So now, why? Tommy states he thought that he may have heard Michael mention something about a person named Timmy, but was not sure. Tommy mentions that they went to Creve Coeur, but then asked how he knows, and he says he saw a missing poster for Timmy Dees, and he says it was in Creve Coeur, which is possible because I'm sure Barb had him everywhere. I'm not going to give name or numbers there. There we go. So he states he drove and dropped off Michael and took Connie to her residence. Oh, there's so many dang addresses. Tommy states he discovers the trunk of his vehicle was broken and would not latch. Tommy states the emergency latch on the inside of the trunk had been pulled. Well, that's odd. Okay. Tommy states he thought Timmy was placed in the trunk and pulled the latch to get out. Tommy, why would you assume that? But there might be something to it. Like I said, every truth, guys, every lie has a little truth. So Tommy states he believes Connie had information about Timmy, stating she told him in person that she needed to talk to Timmy's mom about it. And Tommy states Connie sent him text messages about it as well. Tommy states he asked Connie if she ever talked with Timmy's mom about it, and she had no idea he was even talking about it, to just leave her alone. Tommy states Connie told him the answers he was looking for were in locker 3, owned by Katie McCutcheon, which is the sheriff at that time. This is all allegedly. Katie, I'm not saying that this is true, but it is alleged, and your name is on this timeline report. So, owned by Katie. That's scary to me. That's a bit odd. I don't know if this is true. This is alleged, but that's what's in this report. This is a timeline report. This is all public information as a FOIA request. So, guys, I mean, if she owned 3, Tommy states Connie told the answers he was looking for were in locker number 3, owned by Katie McCutcheon. Monroe asked Tommy if he spoke with any police officers that day about the same incident. He states he did, but then he advised he did talk with officers. Monroe asked Tommy about several of the statements made in the report completed by Fredericktown Police Department. Tommy agrees he made those statements, but confirmed they were rumors. He heard of things he just, they believed happened. Tommy states that he had been sober for 3 days and states he has OCD, anxiety, depression, mixed personality disorder. Monroe observes Tommy to be highly emotional for a difficult time staying focused on each question. First report written by Missouri State Highway Patrol. Incident time is reported 3:15. Not true. Reported time is 4:06. Involved officers, I'm not giving their names. I'm going to go on down here. Newspaper article quotes Fredericktown Police Chief Eric Hovis as having spent all day with Barb and how there isn't much he can do. Paper reports the sheriff's office, all leads have been exhausted. Headline reads, local leads exhausted in search. My heart goes out to the family. McCutcheon said, I wish there was more we could do, and we would worry very much like him we would love for him to be found safe and sound. What? Relevance. McCutcheon had yet to speak to Barb and had ignored Barb's phone calls. No, I'm not going to get started on that. April 5th, Monroe submits search warrant documents to the prosecuting attorney's office requesting Timmy's phone records for his cell phone service through Verizon. Monroe later responds to Jefferson County Circuit Courthouse where Judge Miller, Division 14, signed search warrant application and all of, I don't want to kind of get into the judge and all that he did because even though he did the per call measurement data, round trip delay, round trip time, network event, So what I want to go to is Captain J.J. West and Corporal J.T. Wilson interview, Caleb Hayes' nanny. Interview was conducted in Iron County Jail. It was recorded. Nanny states he was at his home and Dees, Holland, busking were there. Now he also states that Dees' demeanor changed when Holland arrived. He describes Dees as being a more paranoid as usual as he began packing belongings into a bag and went outside. After 45 minutes 40 minutes had passed and Dees had not come back. Again, this still goes against what he said earlier. Dees told them he had to use the bathroom and went outside. After 45 minutes passed and Dees had not come back inside, he began making calls. Nanny claims Timmy started saying, somebody's chasing me. Nanny told that, Timmy was tripping on drugs and no one was chasing him. He was out of breath. Nanny stated the phone call ended, so he got in his car to go look for Dees. Did he? Nanny states he drove all the way to the airport on OO and to that gas station. I'm sure he did go to that airport. From what I've seen in Fredericktown, there's a lot goes on at that airport. Relevance. It was only more than 2 hours until Nanny started making phone calls, only after police arrived. Relevance. Based on the time of the phone calls and 911 report, Caleb did not call Timmy until the time the officers had responded and arrested Trevor. He said he went out driving. This is the first time he's mentioned going out driving and looking for Timmy. Relevance. This disputes earlier the Missouri State Highway Patrol report that said that Holland was the last to see Timmy alive. See, and this is crazy that it's nonstop. This is like one group of people that have one story, but none of them can keep it, but they're keeping some of it. So each story has a little truth and a whole bunch of lies.
You know, Doodle, what's interesting
Many
about this
states
too?
Timmy was impaired and seeing that he observed.
What's interesting about that is Caleb didn't make any calls to Timmy's phone until after the 911 was called.
Yeah, that's what they just said. That's what I just read.
So
Was that he didn't,
that's
he didn't even
crazy
try.
to me that doesn't seem to be suspicious to anyone.
Well, I mean, my goodness, his friend just ran off. I would be on the phone. Hey, come back. But he
why wouldn't
states
you have
that
called him before the 911 call? You said he was missing before the 911 call was made, and you called your friend, but you didn't make no phone calls until after the 911 call was made.
That's correct, because it's even stated whenever I read in the beginning that he states that he did try to call Timmy, and Timmy said, somebody was after him. He's like, no, nobody's after you. Come back. So that's a lie. He's lying. He's a liar.
Right.
There's many things in here he's lied about. He has changed everything. The timeline is off. I feel like the timeline's off here. We're missing a puzzle piece in this, and it's a major one, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I've been wrong a lot. But yeah,
but
Marion
right there, that goes to prove that there's proof right there that he's lying, because why does he not have evidence showing that he called Timmy to see if he was all right after the 45 minutes when he went out to take a pee, but then there is phone calls made after the 911 call when he says my friend's threatening me.
Yeah, see, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
It doesn't.
Okay.
Especially after seeing the Snapchat stuff and all that. I mean, come on.
Right. Okay.
One cop is positioned on all four corners of this home. Before long, the girl sits down and the cops go to the camper. She sits on the curbside. John West arrives, gets camera, goes back to the camper, brings camera back, and says, "We're having to get permission to search this property, Jimmy. You don't have a search warrant?" The watcher starts walking to the store. When she comes back, two girls are on a four-wheeler. They exchange a few words and pull away. Jimmy and police have been forewarned. This is a drug house with weapons, with felons living there. Well, then if the police know that, why are they... Get it together, dude. Anyway. A man comes out of the house. Sorry, you heard me say get it together, Doodle, because I almost just was like giving my opinion and just ready to let it out. And I was like, oh God, no. Get it together, Doodle. So that's why I said that. I apologize. I know I didn't even realize I did it till now. I was like, oh gosh, that's embarrassing. Sorry, guys. Sits on the steps and has been shaking his head. John West gets to the house and sits on the steps with him. Now the camera goes back to the camper. Is there less than a minute, and says there's no way they could have been anyone laying someone in that area because there's too much trash. Come on now. Tom guy described a camper like one they searched, but there was another camper there that had not been searched. Next day, helicopter comes to search, but not to Marquand. They went to Fredericktown instead. Relevance. Helicopter search yields no results. June 14th. Barb texts JJ, she says, you say I can call between 8 to 4, but I call and you don't answer. June 17th. Jimmy begins thinking about the Sunshine Law. Barb gets into the sheriff's office, rings the doorbell. Pogue walks me all the way to the parking lot. Barb says she wants the report of the 911 call. Pogue, you're gonna have to hire a lawyer. Barb, you're telling me to get a lawyer to get a recording of paperwork to see what I said on 911? Barb is stunned. Jimmy, oh no, that's the Sunshine Law. Pogue, you'll have to talk to the sheriff. Barb, can I talk to the sheriff? Pogue, she's not here right now. You know how furious that makes me? Barb, I give you so much credit for keeping your calmness all the time. You're always very pleasant, never loud. You never speak bad words. I'm complete opposite. I'm calling bullshit. These people need to get it together. Wow. Hmm.
Oh, and Doodle,
Barb,
that's
I
not
thought it
half
was the
of it.
sunshine law. Lady comes running up to.
That's not
Oh,
even
yeah.
the half of it. That's the very first time. Now we're talking about June 17th at this point.
Right.
That's the very first time that sheriff ever spoke to me as far as doing anything for me. She never spoke to me before that. Before June 17th, she never spoke to me. So we
But
went
she
from
cared so
February
much.
28th till June. They
But she
all
cared.
led me to believe that Timmy was being chased because he was on something. To that until that day of June 17th, did I know that it said my friend is threatening me. Everybody, the police,
Oh, Barb.
everybody that even talked to me said that they believed everything that Caleb said when he said that when he told the police that that Timmy was on something saying he was being chased. Everybody let that go, and
See,
everybody
and
was
that's what I was
talking
gonna
about it.
say. I'll play devil's advocate, and I will just say, okay, let's say they're right. Let's say he was on something and he did freak out.
And
Why
that's
didn't
the
they
way
go
I
find him?
took it in the beginning
Well, why
until
didn't they
that day
find
of
him?
June 17th when I got that paper. Because there's a big difference between somebody saying, I'm being chased, or my friends threatening me. That's when
Right.
it became a big problem for me. It's like I was reading
Yeah.
that paper on the way home. I was like, wait a minute. It says nowhere
Yeah.
on here that I think I'm being chased. It says my friend is threatening me. That's
Threatening.
two different
Mhm.
things.
Yeah. That's like you
And
and
for
I.
all those months, they let everybody and myself believe that that's what Timmy said instead of looking at that document.
Yeah. And that's like you and I going to do something and then say we go out and we have a few beers, which I'm not a drinker, you're not either, but say we did and you took off. I'm going to go find you. I'm not going to just wait. I'm going to follow you, you know? So that makes no sense either. And
Right.
this is scary and they kind of confess in each little way about what they know, but they keep using his past addiction as the reason that he's missing because that's easy. That's easy.
Right. And everybody in all these
Mhm.
statements are saying bad things about Timmy having
Yeah.
addictions. They're at one point even calling him an alcoholic. But
Yeah,
in
they
the next sentence, they're saying they never met him before. How do you call somebody that if you've never met him?
yeah,
First time you ever meet him, you just know that? I don't think so.
right. You can just tell, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm so
And
sorry
there's
you're
no
acting so stupid.
receipt showing that Timmy bought any alcohol. So I
Even
don't.
if he bought the shooters doesn't mean he drank them. It could have been for the
Well,
rest of the
Caleb
people
said he
there.
didn't think he drank them.
Yeah, see? So why buy them if you're an alcoholic? You drink them. Trust me, I'm sure. I mean, come on. You're not gonna buy a sleeve and just look at them. So if you're
It's
an
just
alcoholic.
interesting to me that all that those months went by. Well, there's a lot that's not just interesting that just
Yeah,
drives me
it's
crazy.
sad. It's
But
so sad.
to let me wait all those months,
Right,
nobody ever looked at that document to see that it says my friend is threatening me, other than
right.
believing what Caleb was saying that he was paranoid on something and was running.
And they knew Caleb also had a substance issue, so they took his word, everything he said as gospel. I don't know
Yes.
why.
And I even asked him that. I said, you're taking everything that Caleb says by as gospel, but nothing my son says m- means anything. So him saying that his friend's threatening him, and we all know that the only friend he had there was Caleb. Everybody's admitting they've never met Timmy
Well,
before, but they're
and then
all
if
going to
you
call Timmy an addict and an alcoholic.
well,
Where's
let's
that
look at the
coming
big
from?
picture. Let's look at the big picture here. That is obvious, which is a simple answer is, say they were doing some substance, and Caleb walks in and sees that Timmy is taking pictures of his stuff, and he thinks he's going to sell his stuff. A confrontation went about there. Nobody seems to talk about that. What if a
Well,
confrontation did happen about that?
and if Timmy was doing that on Snapchat, how did Caleb know unless he saw a
Yep.
Snapchat?
Exactly. That was what I was going to say next. Okay, I'll go ahead and play
Okay,
this.
you go.
We're
Thank you,
talking in the
Doodle.
same. We got the same minds going on here.
Yep.
Barbara Flowers asked if she can pray with Barb. Now went down there, not in a good place, crying, getting out of the car to pray. Phone starts ringing. Jimmy answers. It's Katie. It's Katie. Katie. I heard you wanted a copy of your son's 911 call. I can get that to you, Barb. I'm still here. Can I get it now? Katie, that would be fine. Barb drives down to the police station. Katie comes out, was respectful. Then other people came to get her attention. Barb goes back to her office. I thought maybe we got off on the wrong foot. I apologized if I disrespected her. Went to shake her head, or what? Shake her hand. Said no. I want a hug. Said you can come to my office anytime. Hmm. What in the world? Now that same day on the 17th, they went downstairs to the courthouse and got on agenda for commissioner meeting. There is a drug. Hold on. So Katie told you that she would give you the 911 call, but you've never gotten the 911 call, right?
No, she gave it to me that day. And that's when I was reading it. When I left
Oh,
there,
but
I was
not
reading
the
it on the,
call itself, just the paperwork, the
yeah, the
transcript.
paperwork that
Okay,
says what the
the
caller said.
transcript. Okay,
Yeah,
so
the
she
transcript.
gave you the transcript. Well, how the heck did she get the transcript when the lightning struck the video?
I don't know. That's what I got. I got copies of it.
Huh. Maybe I'll ask her next time we're at the parade. You think? Let's do that. Let me finish playing this. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. A problem here, and they want to address it, and they very well need to. I remember what date meeting was. John Paul, last name, gets out of a car. Barb says she would like to look on his lane with this. Told Katie about it. It was, but it, but that property was already searched. But was it? June 28th. John Paul's property searched at 2 p.m. John Montgomery is there. 9:05 a.m. Weston Hendricks interviewed Busking. Now, Busking said he had not met Timmy until that night. I thought he was sleeping and never met him. Come on, Mike. Busking states he was there for about a half an hour. He said everyone else left except him because he fell asleep. Where'd everyone go? Said they tried to wake him up, but they couldn't. Around 3 a.m., Timmy got up, went outside for fresh air, and never came back. Around 4 a.m., he and Nanny drove around looking for Timmy, but they never saw any sign of him. Also, did not know Dees was missing until approximately 2 months later. Then why the hell was you running around town looking for him then, Mike? Relevance. How can you meet someone in your sleep? Caleb stated he'd asked to spend some time there. Said Timmy had disappeared an hour before they went to look for him. He and Nanny. Good Lord. Trevor Holland is given a polygraph by S.S. Sitton of the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Polygraph video recorded does not seem to be included in the materials via the Sunshine. Imagine that. Ugh. Let me continue. Pertinent questions were asked. Did you kill Timmy? In regards to killing Timmy, did you do it? And did you participate in any way in killing Timmy? The polygraph charts were determined to be deceptive. I questioned Holland about his involvement with Dees
Lies.
and inquired about his deceptive test. Holland states Dees and Busking smoked meth in the presence of Holland. Holland stated previously during that precedent that Holland had provided the meth to smoke that night. He later stated he did not provide the drugs. Holland became agitated and began yelling and cursing and asked if he was free to leave. Holland walked out. Why are you so mad? Relevance. Caleb was lying about Busking sleeping and not knowing Timmy. Or Trevor was lying about these things. Was Holland lying that he provided the drugs because he was scared that would happen if he told the truth? Relevance. Why did they only ask about killing Timmy and not whether or not they knew where Timmy's body was or if whatever happened to him? July 3rd. Mary Clyde Hurst sends message to Barb saying, Megan Starkey said they need to check this spot. So they went to this County Road 203, overheard people talking. Megan said there was a freshly dug grave out there. People were just out there pretty reliable. They were out there and doing the drug game. Now, the people I heard today said that they cut him up and all of this nasty stuff. Guys, this is what parents go through. The people hurt, they tell these parents that they cut him up. Come on, no. July 17th message to Barb. Have you ever had anyone bring up the Proffer family to you? Wow, well, that's a common name. July 8th. Her says again. Have you tried to go down there to do some investigating yourself? It was said again today, the same thing I told you the other day. July 11th. Hannah Lawson sends message. I've been sending Timmy info to a few places. I came across this island. I was wondering if you had reached out. This island? The hell is Hannah talking about? Daniel Troy Murphy. What if he Caleb truly doesn't know anything. I've known Caleb a long time as well, and I'm saying that he's innocent. But I'm getting tired of people. I'm tired of seeing people piss on him just because they don't have answers. Instead of finding your son, they would rather beat down this guy's door demanding answers he may not have. Caleb's a good guy. I do not believe he did anything to hurt Tim, and I definitely double he knows anything about or his whereabouts. Whatever, Daniel. You better get some better friends. Message from Daniel Troy Murphy. Oh, I just read that one. So Sidney gives polygraph to Michael S. Buskey. Of course, we know the address, Marble Hill. The polygraph was video recorded. Pertinent questions. Did you kill Timmy? Concerning you killing Timmy, did you do it? Do you know where Timmy's body is? Answered no to all questions. The results of that were not deceptive. So he passed his. So Mike actually, no, he didn't. No, wait a minute. Yeah, it's Mike. It's busking. So he actually didn't see it happen, but I think he knows what led up to it. Surely, maybe allegedly, just my opinion.
Oh, I believe
July
100%.
14th, message from Timmy Tinkler. I may have some what
Bill?
part?
I
Yeah,
believe
go ahead.
100% that Mike Buskey, you got to understand, Mike Buskey is a man that doesn't have any soul.
Well, if he's not a substance that would make him calm, he could easily pass that poly, and they should have tested him beforehand because you don't know what substance they're on before they're taking. And
Well, I'd
obviously,
like to have
they
the
should know
video.
that they're all addicts. So,
I'd like to have the video of the a lie detector test. They gave
yeah,
Kimberly the video of James Wade doing the lie detector test, and he's
yeah,
nodding
you're not
out.
going to get that. And we can
They
try,
gave it
but
to her.
they're not going to give it to you.
But I'm just saying, there's in that polygraph test with James Wade, you can see him nodding out in the polygraph test. So
Oh
I'd like
yeah,
to
I
see
I
what
remember
kind of
seeing that.
condition Mike Busking was in when they did the polygraph test to him.
And legally, you're you're never supposed to even give that a test to anyone that is on any kind of substance, even if it's
Oh, I
like
know. That's why I
any-
brought it up.
anything for even the anxiety. I mean, none of that. Even a pain pill, anxiety, anything. They should be 100% sober. So I don't know how they're doing things down there, but I'm pretty sure they do it like they do everything else, half-ass. So I'm going to assume that all was just nonsense to make things go away. Just my opinion.
Well, and
I could
after
be
that
wrong.
polygraph test was done, after that polygraph test was done with Mike Busking, and he gives some information in there, and then Timmy's body was found, and he's describing what Timmy's body would look like and what it would be
Yeah,
like when he was
yeah.
found.
Mike even makes a comment. Mike Buskin makes a comment that they'll find him somewhere at least a mile close to his house because he couldn't have got far. How does he know that?
Right, right. And then
Oh,
Timmy was found magically after that, and then nobody else was
yep.
ever questioned again. They never
Nope,
questioned another
nope,
person after that.
nope. Because then it was over.
Yeah, it was
Ugh.
over. I was supposed to go away.
Well, guess what? You're not going away, huh?
Right.
Information about Timmy, even though my 14-year-old daughter saw it. Trevor sold his car now, and he has a white car, and he's living with his grandma Becky next door to me. Now, message from Lisa White. Condolences. Then we have lived with corruption at the highest level for so long, and we're so afraid to do anything. We've seen people try, and they fail over and over again. Your strength is such an amazing example. I think they're talking to Barb here. Many unanswered questions. Unfortunately, it happened outside the city limits of our current unanswered questions. And, being outside the city limits, the sheriff refused to speak to me or my family. He wasn't perfect, but he was my baby, my firstborn. Oh, the sheriff refused to speak to me or my family. He was perfect, but he was my baby, my firstborn, and I wasn't as strong as you. I almost let it destroy me. So please believe me when I say thank you. I'm praying for you to get answers. And they're reaching out to Barb. Like, Barb's not the only one down there. July 17th, search for Timmy.
That's not the
Large
only
public
family
group
that's
meets in
gotten a
front of
hold of me
courthouse.
either.
Marches.
That's not the only
Yeah,
family that's gotten a hold of me saying those things.
I've had a couple people reach out to me, but they're too afraid to come forward and they want me to cover it, which I don't. If I can't get all the details of it, I don't want to cover it because I kind of want to focus on Timmy and Durante's, and then I will go to the next two. But it's so hard to do them all at one time because I don't want to get them all confused because each case matters and each person matters. And I want to focus
Right. Well, the
100%
reason I
on
brought that up is because it's not just one other mother.
oh, it's
This is
terrible.
not
Yeah.
right.
Yep. And it's They're
in the
horrified.
same community.
They're horrified.
They're
I mean,
living
look,
in fear in their
yeah,
community.
yeah. Well, you've got Karen, and I mean, oh my goodness,
Right.
it's sad. All
Okay.
of it, it's sad. It is horrible. Okay, I get the hint. You're like, okay, I can only handle so much of this. Let's go. Around front of the police station, back of the courthouse for a long balloon release. Big support. People from Fredericktown bring four-wheelers, no police involved. They drove down Caleb Street. Caleb gets out of the house, runs down the police station, starts screaming in Tim's face, saying Tim's trying to take Caleb's kid away. Police grab Tim before physical fight breaks out. I don't blame you, Tim. I mean, I don't. This is a bit much. Message from Congalina Gromer. I keep hearing the offsets. Has that place been searched? Oh, that's a great thing. That's okay. I keep hearing about the offsets. Has that place been searched or Elephant Rock or Pink Rock? That's just a few places close by. I heard a few people say that Michael Guy had told a few people that's where offsets, they take them, but that's hearsay. That used to be, but I think that's way, way, way back. They used to find bodies at the offsets years ago, though. Now, I'm not going to do any of this where they try to badmouth Timmy. I'm not doing it. I will not. We already know Timmy. We know he's the victim. He is the one, but I'm going to, right here. Barb calls JJ. She's looking for Timmy's body. Said I had to go through Madison County. She's on speakerphone with friend as witness. Called the medical examiner's office. Body go taken St. Louis by Chris Follis to ME. When Barb calls to get this information, they say, I'll have to go through Madison County. Barb, where's my son's body? You need to listen to me. First time, Barb screams back, you listen to me. I have the right to know where my son is. You go, Barb. Now, primary elections day and Barb's birthday, Barb votes, goes to the funeral home. She stops by the funeral home and is told Timmy's body would be released to Tim. Barb tells the funeral home she wants to get a second autopsy. Thank God she did. Barb talks to John Montgomery, who is the PI, who talked to John West about checking on Facebook page check-in. West says, I'm going to go check into it. Barb calls prosecuting attorney to make an appointment. Prosecuting attorney Robin's secretary. Barb shows the secretary the shoe. Facebook page. Barb then goes to see coroner. He's not there. She leaves a message. Barb decides to drive down to the highway patrol. Coroner calls her. Barb, can you tell me where Timmy's body is, in fact? Coroner, yes, Barb. When we get the body, GoFundMe already started. Relevance. Timmy's body was not intact. See? Barb arrives. So she walks in, asks for JW because JJ hasn't been cooperative in answering questions. The guy behind the desk says JW is at lunch. Barb walks outside to her car. She sings along to Christian music for nearly 2 hours, trying to gain strength. Officer surprises her, knocks on the window. They're there now. Barb sits down in the chair. JW walks from behind the doorway. She had met JW before on the search in April. She says, sorry, maybe we got off on the wrong track. But I just wanted to sit down and talk because things are not making sense. JW walks Barb through the building, gets a chair. JJ comes in before he gets all the way in, says, you were at the coroner's today? And you called me at 11:30 at night? Barb, I've already apologized to you numerous times. JJ, you called the governor. Barb, I told you I called the governor a long time ago. JJ, stay off of media. You made him look foolish. I listened to the podcast 4 or 5 times. Barb says, he went on for 20 minutes. Barb, I don't know why I'm here. You don't want to listen to me. JW, no. We want to hear. Barb, I want to know what's going on that phone. And the check-in. JW shows Barb a different Facebook account that Timmy Dees has. They acted like that was his main account, but it wasn't. Barb, see? It says check-in. Now it's gone. These are not places he worked or all the other check-ins still there. I'll look it up. I said he said he'd look into it. Takes a picture of the check-in on his phone. JJ, well, nothing happened to him. Barb, don't you think his phone is important? JJ, don't you just want to believe that nothing happened to your son? Barb, I want to know the truth. I hope whatever happened he didn't see it coming. JW, very polite, walked me to my car. Had 2023 Kia Sportage. Opened the car door, looked at the screen of the car. Motor went out. Shook his head. Can hug guys for finding my son. JJ hugged Barb. Montgomery went to the highway patrol, talked to him about Facebook check-in. Did JW not even mention I talked to him about that? Barb calls JW asking if he's heard anything on the phone. He's still working on it. 21st was Timmy's funeral. The 24th, JW calls Barb wanting to get a hold of Monroe to get a phone ID number, something associated with the phone. Barb calls FBI about the phone again. Barb doesn't. Or Barb says she doesn't understand why the search isn't executed on the phone data. FBI seems aggravated. They hang up on her. Sorry about that. So they hang up on her. They just hang up. August 28th, Missouri State Highway Patrol status date says closed. Barb goes with Timmy's good friend to see Timmy's remains. Barb, I've been through a lot in my lifetime. Funeral people look at Barb like she's crazy. Barb takes pictures. Now, which one was the hardest thing that Barb has ever done in her life? I'm doing my own investigation. It's so unfair, she states. Just want them to finish this investigation and find out what happened to him. September 23rd, first autopsy report is released. Talk to Monroe. Barb calls Monroe. Monroe says JW did contact him. Find out what happened on Facebook. That man did his job. September 27th, Barb calls JW at 10:33 a.m. JW tells Barb the case is closed. Barb asks about the phone. JW, anybody could have done that on Facebook. He doesn't want to talk. I don't know about that. September 28th, chain of custody. October 25th, sunshine law requests received by 8 entities. Katie, I'm not going to go and read their names because I don't want to get in trouble with privacy issues. That's okay. We got to get, okay, this is it. End. December 28th, Barb calls Jefferson C and pays $510 for the rest of the files to indicate audio and video. June 10th, Barb sends sunshine law request to Iron and Bullinger County, and FBI is subject to FOIA. Okay, so here's the problem with this. We have all of this information, right? And Barb has paid for this, and she did the FOIA request, the sunshine law. She's done all of this. And the reason that it's so important that I read this to you today, and I keep scrolling through here, is that you can see that this is the actual timeline. This is not going to be the only part of this. This is the timeline provided, and she has this on her flash drive. Officer Monroe from Jefferson County he helped her in the very beginning. As you see me scroll through here, you can see this is a document. This is a flash drive that I had received from her. But of course, I want you to see at the top. Back up here at the top. Come on up here, guys. I don't know why I did that when I can just go up here and go faster. There we go. So as we look up here at the top, you can see all of this. And this is the timeline. Guys, I just ask you to have patience and please take this serious. Take a look at it for yourself and you make up your mind. With that being said, I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and remove that real quick. All right. And I'm going to put us back up here. Oh, I didn't put us up here on the side by side. Barb, I made us huge last time, so let's be huge. Oh, Barb, where'd you go?
Doodle, am I there?
There you are.
A lot of that timeline, it's Bob Miller from the Lawless Files that sat down with us for 12 hours, and I went through my
he did excellent, but the police timeline, Caleb's timeline, Mike Busking's timeline, all of that is bullcrap. I love that.
And Monroe was doing a great job. I wish he would have had the case the whole time.
Monroe and that John Montgomery had done excellent. And Bob from Lawless Files, excellent. Mr. Steve and all the hours and all the work that he's put in. And I mean, God bless him too. They have stuck by you and they have done so much for you. And I can't thank them enough. But next, this is only part one. So Mr. Steve is going to come on one night and answer questions but there is going to be a second part. And Barb, I don't know. Barb is trying to get the Missouri cold case files, but they have to come into, and they actually called her, but she has asked Madison County to call them in. Now, if that doesn't work out, and then I'm going to go through, and I have already pre-recorded each interview the officer has done with every person that we've spoke about on this report. And I will go through each and every one of those, but I don't want to do that and mess it up if they will invite the cold case in. If they don't,
I'm praying that somebody there, the prosecutor, the sheriff, or the highway patrol can invite them in. They just have to have an invitation. That's what I'm fighting for, is that invitation.
Right. Right, definitely. And so that's the only reason I didn't go ahead and read each one, because when I read those guys, you're going to see the inconsistencies with each and every one. And they've interviewed Caleb a couple times, and two or three times, and none of it made sense. Mike
And the
Busby,
videos. I
yeah,
mean, the
yeah,
tracker
yeah, yeah,
and
yep.
nowhere in any of those statements that you just read that Caleb, them talking to Caleb, does Caleb say anything about a tracker? But
Right.
there's a tracker found in Timmy's pocket when he was
Yes.
found, and he's on a video in jail talking to his sister about, oh my God, by the way, Timmy bought a tracker. And then
Oh
in
God.
another
Ugh.
video, she's trying to blame this guy Zach, and Caleb says Zach wasn't even there, you can't do that, and she says, well, I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, there's just so
Oh
many
yeah. And
things
some of
that
them
don't
they
make
talk.
any sense.
They even talk about robbing a guy. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. And so then all those videos now, if you play them, then you get a privacy strike or whatever. But nothing I said here tonight, guys, take it as you want to. I have to say that it's alleged, but that is public FOIA sunshine law requests. That timeline come from Lawless Files. And the other reports, the other docs, they're all public. Barb paid for them. She sunshine law. She used the sunshine law. And if the cold case unit doesn't come in and help on it with Madison County, please, Madison County, invite them in. If you have nothing to hide,
Please.
please, I beg you, just let them do it. And if they find nothing, okay. But
If they
please
don't have
invite
the
them.
resources and they can't do it, just invite them in
Yep.
so they can do it. And that's all I'm asking for.
And that's it, and that's resolution. So fresh eyes, please, if you're listening, and I'm sure there's some officer in Madison County listening, please be the hero here. Let them in, just let them in. And if they say nothing, okay, let this mother have some peace, please. We beg you. All right, guys. Well, I know Barb is tired. This is emotionally just so much for her. Barb, thank you so much for trusting me with this. I'm going to end this so you can rest. I know it's a lot. It's always
Good.
so
I'm
hard
ready to
for you.
go. I can't.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I know. All right,
Thank
guys. So
you all
thank
for
you all.
being here, though, and supporting. And I
Yes,
love all
yeah,
of you for helping.
yes. And guys, have a wonderful night. God bless each and every one of you. Sweet dreams. Feel loved. And till next time, guys, just take care. Be kind. Be kind to one another. All right, guys. Good night. Goodbye.
In a world that turns too fast, some are lost, left in the past. But we won't let silence win. We'll speak their names again. Voices rising through the dark. Every story leaves a mark. We are the ones who won't forget. The fight for truth is not done yet. We shine the light, we raise the call. For the missing, the broken, we stand tall. For justice, for healing, for every tear, we carry their names